Welcome to the Nomad Network, your first stop for complete and comprehensive Chicago Bears football coverage. Dive deep into analyses, updates, and all things Bears. Subscribe to our YouTube channel today and never miss a beat. Thank you in advance for your support. We promise to bring you the best because together we're unstoppable. Go Bears!
Yo, No Maniacs, Super No Maniacs, all in between. Welcome to the special edition of Nomad at Night, man. The day, kind of the day we've all been waiting for, man. We're 10 days away from actual real deal football that counts in the record books. We whittled it down to 53, and I'll just say this. It's pretty much what I thought it would be. Maybe one or two surprises there, maybe. But it's pretty much exactly what I thought it was going to be, and I like the team. It looks strong, and just to put this out there for the record, this is the initial 53, and so we got this other period that we're gonna have to go through for the next 48 hours, 72 hours, maybe even further into the 4 or 5 day period where they might be looking to sign a few UDFAs or guys on the waiver wire. We might find some guys, man, and we're gonna talk about all that tonight. Particular room, the running back room, is the one I'm really paying attention to. So what I've been doing all day is just scouring social media, looking at the Bears website, seeing who we released, and getting over that part of it. So we're going to talk about all that. But what's more important to me right now, and I think most people came here by this juncture to figure out, okay, this is the 53 we got now. Are they going to make some moves later on, in the next 48, 72 hours, however long it's going to be? I think they will. I'm pretty sure they will. I think Ryan Poles kind of said it at the podium today when somebody asked him about the running back room. He said it's going to look much different than it looks right now today. So I'm looking forward to that. I got some guys to talk about that's out there right now. I know you all have been watching and paying attention to all these guys getting cut. That's what I've been doing all day, is just checking them out, making sure I at least watch film on all the guys that we could possibly be looking at. So that's going to be fun. That's going to be a fun discussion in a little bit, man. But without further ado, let me bounce past this thing over to Canada for right now and see what the Canuck does with this rock.
Well, we're going to start it off a little like this. Well, it's a special episode, 53-man roster case scenario for us. We're getting real damn close to the beginning of this season. Whoa, hold on. Let me leave this up here. For y'all out there who are planning to jump into the Fantasy Football League for Superflex this year, there's a couple of folks that I've already hit up. For the rest of y'all who were in last year, I've already read up the league. For those of you who would like to join, by all means, hit me up at kedscanuck@gmail.com or at kedscanuck on Twitter. Either way, just give me a quick shout out. I will send you the link to join, and we'll do the darn thing. We're getting real close to launch. We're likely going to be drafting next week. So there's all that. Keep things short and sweet. $20 for the league this year. I'll put up my PayPal QR code, and you guys can throw the $20 in there. Doesn't have to be up front right away. It can be at any point throughout the season. But that's how we're going to do it. A couple of bucks to the winner. And we fantasy football heads going to get it down this year, man. But back to regular things, regular fare. Then give a little bit of love to those who love us. Starting with my guy, Crimson. Big shout out to you for coming through. Shout out to Naj. Naj, you should have got a link earlier today. You can log in right on sleeper.com as per normal. That's where we're hosting it this year. Super awesome platform for fantasy football. Derek Guy, he's a super no maniac. You should be as well. You can also just be a no maniac. And I'm not to not poo-pooing the no maniacs out there. It's $1. It only costs you $1. So join up. Get yourself some discounts on the awesome gear that we're all putting together. And check out the website upon launch. We're hot and heavy and ready to put that out there and put some real cool merch out there for y'all as well. Black Diamond is with us. Yo, yeah, man. I just hit you up as well, Black Diamond. Good to see you, Petty. Who else is out there with us? Liberty's Outlook. He's also a super no maniac. So is Levante Rogers. Relentless Mikey's with us tonight. Calvin C's a super no maniac. Already talked about Black Diamond. Who else we got out there, man? Oh, the good Minister Charles Johnson. He's also a super no maniac. King Booker World got the wrench, keeping things real in the chat. Jojo Loco 5150 is with us tonight, and that kind of rounds it out. So things are getting real. We're almost into a football season to face those Minnesota Vikings and really see what Ben Johnson got up his sleeve for Brian Flores. But hey, I had a homie and his name is Triple R. He's right underneath me. What it do, my friend? What are you saying?
What's going on, good people? Good Bears fans, and welcome back to all the Bears fans checking in as the season starts in 13 days, as y'all have had the summer off, but not here at the Nomad Network, not at Keds the Canuck, and especially not at Sports Chicago Style. A big up to all those subs, especially some of our newer ones. I see you there, Mojo Jojo. Jojo Loco, aka. But yeah, everybody come on through as the season's starting up. The excitement is building. We got this iteration of the 53 roster right now. We got a game in 13 days, and it's time to bear down, baby. So yeah, Sports Chicago Style. Let's keep it rolling. Go ahead, Nomad.
Hey, you can take that down, kids, unless you just want to leave it up for a little while.
What are you talking about? The thing I took down already?
Oh, that banner is already. Oh, damn! I'm looking over here. My bad. I'm kind of misdirected right now. You guys,
you looking out the window?
Yeah, man.
All right, no worries, man. I got you.
It's I'm upfront honest, man. It's stuff going on around my home.
Yosemite Sam lives next door to Nomad, so things are a little bit wild out there in the West.
It's a little more dangerous than that, man. It's crazy. But I don't like living like this, man. Sitting around with a cocked firearm and shit like that. I don't like it. You know what I mean? It's nice having them shits, man, but I just don't like it, man. So I'm kind of thrown off right about now. But that's on the personal side. Thank everybody for coming in here. Let's just go here before we get into this Bears football conversation. Kids, how you been, man? How's your life been? How's your family? How you doing?
No better or worse than last time we saw each other. Reality is business is booming. So just work. And now we are, again, getting more work on my shoulders. We're getting close to launch for Superflex. We're getting close to fantasy football. Getting my leagues, all the leagues that I curate and manage up and running. In short order, because real talk, normally I have this stuff done about a month ago, including Superflex. That was the plan. But work just kind of came first. Had to really hustle these last couple of weeks to make sure that things are looking good. So things are looking a little bit better. And hopefully, in the end, if things look real good, which I expect them to come the end of September, I think I'm going to plan myself a little trip to Chicago. So don't quote me on this, but ask me about it at the end of September. If everything works out well, I'm gonna see what I can do to come take a little trip and maybe catch myself a football game.
Bayless Jones, don't worry about it. He's gonna be incognito. He's gonna have funny glasses and a mustache and a big nose.
I don't think he plays for this team anymore, does he?
He gonna be here just for you. He gonna beat your ass, man.
Well, I mean, it's not like he's on a team now, is he? Or
is he on any team at all?
He heard all that slander. You think he ain't gonna show up?
He gonna hang out at O'Hare Airport like, where is this Kez dude at?
Oh, he's the guy in that. He's the dreadlock guy in all them pictures. That's always at O'Hare at the airport leaning up.
He got some.
Bayless Jones.
He gonna treat you like he did that ferret.
Yeah. Hope you don't hope he ain't trying to beat me with a bat because he'll drop it.
I'm gonna have to send my boy. I'm gonna have to send my boys up there. I'm gonna have to send my boys to the airport, man, to escort him wherever he want to go, man. He gonna get fired the fuck up around here, man.
King will pick you up. Regulators.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. But hey, yeah, man, thinking about coming through. But we'll see. If everything works out, maybe I'll make a little trip up.
What about you? What about you, Trip?
Yeah, chilling. I understand that football season's getting closer.
Tim Hunter's in.
The autumn weather, and I could feel the coolness in the air. It's like, had to put on a shirt when I went outside today, and it was like I don't like that because that means winter's coming, and I'm not a fan of winter as I've gotten, in my crusty old age. It's just not like it used to be because these old bones and stuff. But yeah, it's that nip is in the air, and I don't mean these nips, but that fall kind of coolness and as they call it, fat boy summer. So while I'm a fat boy, I still prefer summer. But other than that, everything's chill.
And so, all right, man. Me, I've got some stuff in the works, man. But first, before I say anything, man, make sure. Let me pull this down for a second.
That's real.
I gotta make sure you guys know that it's very, very easy to become a member of the channel and support the channel now. There's no problem whatsoever. We have 2 tiers now. You got Super No Maniac you can get and become a member. You go to the channel where you see the logo, you follow the directions. Once you see membership, you hit that button and you take it from there. And everybody can become a member now. It's only 99 cents for people. I know people are their pockets are tight right now. Everybody's kind of feeling that pinch a little bit. So we made it as easy as we can possibly make it for anybody that wants to help and support the channel. All you people that's been rocking with us for so long, giving us all the support, never, ever letting us down whenever we do some shows, whenever we do any kind of content. We are always able to count on you all. And this will be our way to say thank you back to you. Right back to you by giving you an opportunity to get a 99-cent membership for the opportunity to get at some of this merchandise, get you some discounts for some of this stuff that's on the website. Again, the website's not out. I have not published it yet. There's stuff going on. I'm going to get that thing published within several days or so. I'll be on the air and telling you guys that the website is there. Everybody can go get what they want to get. But we're trying to get all the No Maniacs, Super No Maniacs, everybody that watches the show and supports us, grab a membership, please, so we can say thank you with some of these discounts on this merchandise. This is just one. The bomber jackets. It's going to be my first piece of merchandise. Here's another one. Believe in Monsters. I think this is going to be a good seller right here. I think people are going to really like this one. Just the design of it by itself, but this is another piece of merchandise among some other very unique designs that's in there. Oh. Nowhere else you'll be able to find these designs. So I'm telling you guys right now, grab a membership so you can get some discounts on this merchandise, man. So,
well, speaking of which, the big homie Ron Winarski just gifted out 5. So if you magically show up, find yourself with a membership, you can thank the big homie Ron.
Shout out to Ron, and thank you so much, Ron. That was so nice of you, man. Everybody, please follow Ron.
For Dan Brown. There's one for Relentless Mikey. Look at that.
There you go. Relentless Mikey says, thank you, Ron. That's your first thank you. Shout out to you, Ron. That was nice, man. That was really awesome. Nice.
Good luck.
And Dan Brown. So, yeah, man, please go ahead and get that. I'm telling you, some unique designs in there. I'm not blowing smoke because I'm trying to get you all to go and buy the merchandise. I'm telling you, it's going to be some unique designs you won't find anywhere else. So I'm telling you right now is the time to get yourself a membership so you can get that discount. But on to what's going on with me personally. It's just entirely too much going on outside my window right now, and I'm kind of irritated and on guard right now. So, other than that, life's been good. I've been having an opportunity to spend a little bit of time with my lady before the season starts, and I think that's really important right now. And spend a little bit of time. We're gonna be getting hella busy when it comes to football season. There's going to be a lot of content to do, a lot of news to cover, all kinds of stuff that's going to be going on. So she knows, I know that it's going to be a busy season for me. And right now she's just trying to get the time she can get with me before the stuff gets hella busy. And so I've been doing my job to oblige. that's for the most part everything that's been going on with me. But yeah, man, that's it, man.
Hey, what's up with mom's hip?
She's doing good, man.
Okay.
Actually, man, I had to go. Well, I seen her over my uncle's house the other day. I had to tell her, you got to chill out. So she was trying to do too much and she fell, but it was on the opposite hip. Luckily for her,
okay. She turned
opposite hip. Yeah, she fell on the opposite. She's trying to get back.
Wait, what the hell was she doing that she was falling?
Just walking around and going up steps too fast. I think.
Oh.
Yeah, she fell on some steps.
Damn.
Yeah, Levante says thank you for gifting memberships. Ron, that was nice. James Hunter says thank you. Oh, he's talking about kids.
Yeah, man. Jim's out there in Canada somewhere. I wonder what part of the Great White North you're holding up in. Wish I knew, because like I said, I've been traveling all over the country doing this, that, and the third. I was just out in the GTA, which is likely where I assume you probably wound up. But let me know, by all means. Hit me up on Twitter. Let me know if you're anywhere near me, and
Grand
go
Theft
Tim
Auto?
Hortons coffee. You know what I'm saying?
Did you say Grand Theft Auto GTA?
No.
What's
No,
GTA?
we ain't stealing it. The GTA is the greater Toronto area. That's what they call the center of the universe here in Canada. That's basically what it is. It is a grand melting pot.
Oh, okay. Right on.
There you have it. Yeah.
I'm sorry, man. I got again, man. Look, I'm gonna put up the 53, and we're gonna take it slow and talk about this stuff. Different position battles that were won and lost. And we're going to talk about a little bit about the guys that got cut or waived.
Oh, you way up over there. Sorry, man. So Jim's he's out in Alberta. He's out in the oil sands. That's I'm with you. My son's out there. My son's out. He plays for the Calgary Dinos. So you're not too far from where he is. You're maybe an hour or so away. But he's out there training right now. His season starts on Friday, so I get to actually. This is how busy the world is for me right now. So I got my son's football every Friday, so I got to pay attention to see how he's doing. Then Superflex likely on Tuesdays moving forward. We've got Nomad at Night on a Sunday, and then some saucy extra sauce on Wednesday. It's a whole thing.
The season of Keds.
The season of Keds. Yeah, man.
All right. Well, let's get to this 53. We're going to take it slow as we can and talk about these position groups, the battles that happened, who won, who lost, reasons why, all that kind of stuff. Let me just pull it up right now. Talk about this first. And this is the 53. I know it's a little small, man, but this is the best I could do for the time I had. Hopefully you all can see it. Of course, we ain't got to talk too much about the quarterbacks, but the running back room, let's just save that for a minute. Here's a room that a lot of people are kind of over the moon about, is the fact that we got Jade Walker in that receiver room. So we kept 1, 2, 3. We kept 6 receivers. That's about where I thought we would be. Just to get off, we kept three quarterbacks. Right now we have 3 running backs. Right now we have 6 receivers, 3 tight ends. This is where I felt good, because I called it out. I thought we'd have 10 in the trenches, and we got 10 offensive linemen in total in the trenches. We got 10 defensive linemen in the trenches. We also have, let me see, that is 1, 2, 3, 4. That's about 7 cornerbacks. Is that right? Did I count that right? 6 cornerbacks?
6.
Okay, 6 cornerbacks. We got 1, 2, 3, 4. That's 5 linebackers. I'm telling you, I'm so looking outside and trying to do shit at the same time. All right, we got 4 safeties, and we got special teams guys. Start anywhere you want to, kid, so we can talk about this. Let's start this. Let's skip over the quarterback and running back from now. We'll come back around for that one. So starting that receiver room, anything you want to talk about there?
Well, just the obvious things, I guess, right? So just overall, in comparison to my 53, this is super close. There's four exceptions, one being in the wide receiver room, and that's Tyler Scott. I thought that the the big softy that Ryan Poles is sometimes might hold on to his draft selection in Tyler Scott this time around. Looks like, unfortunately, he didn't make the cut. On the flip side of all that, the story to be discussed is Jahdae Walker, because Jahdae Walker came out of the woodwork and he slid his way in everybody's hearts like that, like I did that. There you go.
Nice.
But yeah, that's basically what the kid did. Some really nice receptions, timely and important, resulted in a touchdown, if not two, in the preseason. And I like this kid, man. He's a big-bodied, wide catch radius receiver. Unfortunately for Tyler Scott, speed just didn't, wasn't the order of the day for this receiving core. Because to be honest, the things that I've been saying about Tyler Scott over the last couple of weeks in hopes that maybe they do keep him was really that in crosser capacity or drag route capacity, he can really be elusive and leave a defender in the dust. The real facts are, like, you slide DJ Moore into the slot, he can do the same thing. He won't be as fast, but he's just as elusive. Olamide Zaccheaus is just as elusive too, and he might block somebody. And there's that downside that we got to see this past Friday where Tyler Scott it was a screenplay, and he just couldn't put his body on the man, and it resulted in a tackle for loss. So again, one more reason why Tyler Scott's not on this squad or didn't make this wide receiver room. All the things I just said about Olamide Zaccheaus can clearly also be applied to Luther Burden 3, because, man, those blocks are crazy. The kid will receive, the kid will get yak on the reception, but the blocking too, man, somebody must have pissed him off before that football game, because, man, he's ready to do it week in and week out. I like this squad. We've got a dedicated special teamer being Devin Duvernay. I'm sure he'll get a snap here and there at the wide receiver position, but these remaining 5 guys, I think, is a really solid group.
Hey,
What
kid,
do you think, Trip?
Well, before you go there, Trip,
Yeah,
I gotta say, man, and this is to both of you all. In my lifetime, I don't remember a receiving group
this good in Chicago.
being this fucking talented, man.
Yeah, bro. No. So okay, so the closest thing to this, and we haven't even touched. We're not talking about tight ends yet, but the closest thing to this is the Brandon Marshall,
Alshon
Jeffrey, Mercedes, not Mercedes Lewis, Michael, Martellus Bennett. That's probably the closest thing to this that we've ever seen.
I don't think it holds a candle to it, kid. I don't think it's even.
Like I say, we haven't even started talking about the tight ends yet. Yeah. I think this is almost clearly the best wide receiver collection that the Chicago Bears have had in 20 plus years. This is like a question for Tom Waddle. Like, I wish Tom Waddle was on the show right now. I would love to ask Tom Waddle what his thoughts are on this wide receiver room. Being a former Bears wide receiver who had to grind his way into the position and was in the position for a very long time. He's seen every Bears wide receiver room, since the 80s. And I don't think anything holds a candle to this.
Nah, man. But Crimson, here he is with the solid argument. Brandon, he's talking about.
That's the one I was just talking about.
He's talking about all the pass catchers. He's throwing Brandon out there, Ashton, Martellus, and Forte. You start thinking about all the pass catchers in Chicago. Every last guy on this list is live, plus the running backs.
But you know what I'm saying? Like, I didn't talk about. I just said I hadn't brought the tight ends into the mix yet. I also haven't brought in DeAndre Swift, who's a fantastic pass catching back. To be frank, I don't think this team has ever had a collection of skill players who can catch passes like this roster. Ever.
Mm-hmm.
I'm convinced it's the best one I've ever seen.
I think so.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at it, DJ is a proven wide receiver, but he's also been taking reps at running back and doing other things on the field. As we know that Ben Johnson gets, let's call it, creative with his play calling and player usage. Rome, second year guy coming into a zone, been out there catching everything, running every route, getting those jump balls. Zacchaeus, he's a little guy with juice. Whereas Luther Burden, he has that football attitude about him. He makes those blocks. And whereas Zacchaeus and Duvernay, I think, are 1-year contracts, that opens up, time for Burton and Walker to grow into the roles and replace them. I would prefer Duvernay just chill with, and chill on special teams and don't have to worry about getting many wide receiver reps. We didn't see much of him in the preseason, but he's an all-pro returner. What does he have to really prove or learn? Just let him go back there and return the damn kicks, and have all day, every day, Jade Walker, on the sidelines doing his little Skywalker high step after touchdowns. So the talent level in this receiver room is fast. They are, different sizes, as Ryan Poles alluded to a few years back. You got little guys and Zacchaeus. You got Burton, who's not little, but he's not a bigger guy. You got Walker, 6'3". Rome is like 6'3". DJ is like 6 feet. So you got size and you got a lot of speed and creativity once the ball gets in their hands. So they don't have to run 40-yard fly routes and catch it. They can catch the ball, on a short 5-yard cross or a drag and take it the rest of the way. So the opportunities for mismatches against opposing secondaries is there because they've been lining up all the receivers at the X, the Y, and the Z. So it's like they can shift and find the matchup that they desire and exploit it. And this is something that this offensive mind in Ben Johnson does, that we know he does from experience. I see you there, Pussycat. What's happening? And so we expect him to bring that. And then there was a highlight from a block that Jade Walker did. I think it was Buffalo, maybe, but it was the same block that Luther Burden did, where they were cracking down from the right wide receiver position and meeting that safety as he enters the hole to stop the running back who's running between the guard and the tackle. So Walker has made that block. Burden has made that block. We didn't see Tyler Scott make that block. I had, high hopes for that he could be a little T-Sizzle, not Terrell Suggs, but his own T-Sizzle as in Tyler Scott. But it just never, it was like, okay, yeah, more. Oh, why did you drop the ball, kid? Oh, why did you miss that block? You were trying. I see you trying, but you just didn't. And you just got your job took by a UDFA. So, good luck with where you're going, and maybe he makes it back to the practice squad and can develop more into, a T-Sizzle-ish. But the way that this wide receivers room set up right now, I ain't mad at it at all. Quite excited, actually.
Hey, I got to point out something, man.
Yeah.
I wonder did anybody notice, they're looking at the receiver group, on its surface, on its face as this receiver group. What you should be paying attention to is remember, kids, you remember how I laid it on really, really thick this offseason about how when I studied Dennis Allen's offense, not Dennis Allen's offense, but Ben Johnson's offense, and I told you how much they really keyed on the slot receiver, how much usage the slot receiver got, how much the slot receiver he's kind of like a wild card in the mix of all that they do. Of course, the tight ends are very, very useful in there with the 2 tight end sets, 12 formations and all that. But the how they use the slot receiver to kind of open up everybody else as a weapon. I mean, they really, really weaponize the slot receiver. Look at this thing really close. What you have is legit five freaking slot receivers on this roster. You're talking about DJ Moore, you're talking about Olamide Zacchaeus, you're talking about Luther Burden, you're talking about Devin Duvernay. So I said 5, I meant 4. So you got 4 legit slot guys on this roster. This is gonna really, really open up a whole lot of stuff for other guys. We start talking about how good Ben Johnson is at scheming guys open. On the all 22, you can see it real clear, really clearly how he used that slot receiver, slot receiver motion to kind of give the quarterback an identifier as to what the defense is trying to do, and then it goes from there. So I'm telling you guys, we probably have the most unique receiver group in the NFL. Not only that, I match it with the best receiving groups out there in the NFL. There's some nice receiving groups out there on different teams, but this has to be the most dynamic one I've seen. This has to be the most. We got 4 legit slot guys. It's hard enough for a team to get 1 or 2. We got 4 legit slot receivers.
Yeah.
Just think about that.
Yeah, those guys are completely interchangeable. And, the only guy who's and I wouldn't be mad if they tried Rome in there too. Like, I'd just be real about that. I
He'll get in there at times, but
you know what I mean? I wouldn't be mad at it. But yeah, super versatile. And again, right now we're just talking about the one group. But if we, just given what we saw in the chat there a minute ago, you can throw DeAndre Swift into this mix too. Because, like I say, there's aspects of DeAndre Swift's game that I'm not a big fan of, but straight up and down, this man is one of the better the better receiving backs in the NFL, bar none. Is he always utilizing that capacity? Not necessarily. And you have to look at the Bears brass, a little bit sideways with respect to that. That's what the guy does very well. He in college. Awesome receiving back all around. So, add that into the mix. Then you layer on 2 tight ends who are both solid pass catchers in Cole Kmet and Colson Loveland. And this is an offense that, again, man, I ain't never seen nothing like this here before. Let's just pray that we see the actual results on the field, because I think we're gonna. And if we do, look out, NFC North.
You know what, Jay Stiddy? He made a statement. He said Swift is going to have a huge year, man. Part of the reason why he's going to have a huge year is because of this group we're talking about. How they can get the defense away from the ball, away from the point of attack. You have to account for every last one of them guys. You got Colson out there, you got Cole out there, you put Luther out there, you put DJ out there, you put Olamide out there. I mean, however you want to line this thing up, every last one of these guys are live. And when I say live, I mean the defense has to account for every single one of them. You better know where every last one of them are at on the field. And that's going to be hard to fucking deal with. It's going to be very difficult to deal with.
I mean, looking at the tight ends, we know that Loveland is supposed to be your basically hybrid wide receiver kind of guy. Whereas we know Kmet can get open
in the slot too, Trips, by the way. He can play in the slot.
Actually, I think they had him running the tight end routes, the slot, and he was even lined up at the X a few times, to get that matchup, because he's that physical that he can do it, and it seems to be smart enough that he can do it, as well. And then, like we're saying, Kmet, he's a solid kind of guy. You wouldn't call him the most athletic or as even athletic as a Loveland. And then you got Smythe. I believe they had him lined up as a hybrid, fullback last week or the week before. And his veteran presence is good. He can still be athletic enough to catch you a, first down or two. So, the versatility is there in the tight end room as well. And they should be a nice little safety blanket for Caleb.
God bless Don Burr sometimes, man. I swear he thinks this is a Detroit Lions podcast, because he's giving shout outs to Brad Holmes and stuff. Ain't nobody giving no shout outs to Brad Holmes, bro.
Did we just cut him to Hooker too?
Huh? Oh,
did he? Yeah, they cut him.
Oh no. So the future. Well,
I wanted to take a little bit later on to take a whirl around to see how many.
We're gonna have to. I didn't know about that one, and that means that the future of the quarterbacking future of the Detroit Lions is somewhat in question, because I think a certain Mr. Goff might struggle a little bit without his his vaunted offensive coordinator.
They lost
And
Dan.
many of his offensive linemen, many of his
Oh
weapons.
yeah,
They
oh
lost
yeah.
Dan Skipper too, man. Big
They
Dan.
did, and I wouldn't be mad if he, skipped his way over here. But
No, we
Look at Dante. Shout out to Dante. Became a
He
new
got it.
member.
He got it
No.
on the PC. He got it on the
Dante.
No Maniacs helped him out, man. They helped him out. They got him where he needed to be. Shout out to you, Dante, and shout out to y'all that helped him out, man.
Hey, there's Deuce One, man. We got a packed house here tonight. This is awesome. But yo, look at that. Look at that 53, man. This is a little bit wild and crazy, and that's what the offense is going to look like. I think the offense has a definite chance to do some damage. And let's be frank again, that's what all the hate out there equates to, if you really understand it. Chicago traditionally has not had a viable offense. If we do, it's a problem for the rest of the NFL. And I said the North before, but it goes without saying, Chicago's traditionally been a smash mouth defense, run the ball story. That's the story here. If you layer on top of that a working, viable West Coast offense, oh no. Beware NFL. So as my guy Jim Hunter was saying in the chat, he's excited about this whole squad, and we'll get through the rest of the 53. I'm excited about the whole squad. I am a little trepidatious for very specific reasons, and we're going to see what happens. But there's one thing I'm not trepidatious about. There's one area that I don't have a worry about, and it's a huge area. Over the last few years, last few seasons, there were certain games that we would just fall out of and lose. 3 points, 7 points, a touchdown here. And that had everything to do with Matt Eberflus and his squad. And there's no nice way to say that. They just were not caliber coaches. Caliber enough to make a single touchdown differential disappear. I think this squad is that good. I'm not saying we're going to win 15 games this season. I have no clue. I'll be happy if we win 8. But I have a strange feeling that some of those games that we should have just, we should have called a timeout here and maybe we could score a field goal and win this game. Little things like that, I think, are going to be the difference in how this team comes out at the end of the season.
Well, then also look at the difference in the play calling. Now, realizing that let's just call don't call it a comeback, but it was against the Chefs and the play calling. Now, this is supposedly still the vanilla portion of the play calling on offense. And they were able to, take your little nickel and dimes if the big shot wasn't there, get out of bounds, take what the defense gives you, keep moving the sticks to get in the range, and there you go, touchdown. And it's not one of those offenses where it's like, oh, God, we're down, we got to panic. And so now we're going to call 20-yard pass routes, which is what the previous offensive coordinators would do. And it's like, well, okay, you missed, so now it's 2nd and 10, now it's 3rd and 10, maybe you take a sack, now it's 3rd and long, now you're really fucked. But this offense has been called to where it's like, all right, let's not put ourselves behind the sticks. Let's not make mistakes. Let's start fast and play the entire 60 minutes, overtime if necessary. And that whole general attitude is a new attitude for Hallis Hall.
Let's keep sliding, man, because we only kept 3 tight ends, and it's probably par for the course. I'm sure it'd be 1 at least on the practice squad, maybe even 2. I think they like Joel Wilson, and I do think they like Stephen Carlson as well, who played, I'm talking about in the blocking game, pretty well, man. I saw some great stuff on tape for Stephen Carlson, man. I know it had to be kind of difficult, but when they got Durham Smythe, see, all 3 of these guys that are on here right now that's on this 53 initially they can block. They can block. Cole Kmet, he's questionable at times, hitting his target point, whiffing and shit. But they all 3 of these guys can block. Now, what they might be interested in doing is getting another move tight end. So Joel Wilson would probably be, if I had to guess, the guy that they choose to put on this practice squad because he's a move tight end. So you'd have 3 blocking tight ends plus a spare move tight end. You got a couple of move tight ends here. You can call Cole Kmet a move tight end, but Colston Loveland is definitely a move tight end. And shout out to Dante Purify.
Dante Purify lighting it up.
Showing the love, man. Y'all keep doing it, man. We got to get as many No Maniacs as we can to get memberships, man.
That's
we
awesome.
really need that to happen. Thank you, Dante. Thank you so much. We need y'all to get memberships so y'all can get them damn discounts, man. Y'all gonna love those new designs. I'm telling you. So shout out to Dante, man. Just gifted out 5 memberships, man. But this tight end group, I think we're missing maybe a piece or two that's going to be on the practice squad. But I like it. I think it's a solid group. All of them can be weaponized in all kinds of different ways in the offense. This is a better tight end group than I've seen in Chicago in a long time as well. Got to say that. This might be the best tight end. I think that, the tight end group of, who was it? When Cutler was here, we had, what's his name? Come on, y'all help me out with the tight end. We had 88 and we had, what's his name? The one that got in the fight with Kyle Fuller. What's his name?
Wasn't Bennett?
No, not
Bennett.
Shaheen. Yeah, Bennett. We had Bennett and number 88 at one time, the bigger tight end.
Oh.
Those dudes were solid, man.
Miller? No.
Oh, Zach Miller. Zach Miller.
It's not Zach Miller. But Zach Miller was part of that. He was in that time frame too. But who was 88? He's a bigger dude. Damn, y'all help me out. Desmond
Clark.
Yes, Clark.
So we had some, I can't remember, if like Desmond Clark might have been here with Bennett, might have been here with the other guy. What's the other guy's name? But in that time frame, we had some solid tight ends in that crew.
Mm-hmm.
All 3 of those guys are part of it.
Yeah.
So but I think this one has a chance to be better than them all. This one has a good chance to be better than them all as far as production goes. I remember that guy too, Dante Rosario.
Yeah, Jay Steady. This is Jay Steady saying this. We're looking at the groups individually, and we'll continue to do so as we round out the whole 53. But yeah, it could be one of the better talent. The more talented squads that I've seen in Chicago. The defense, in my opinion, is probably not quite as talented as some of the other Chicago defenses that I've seen, but that ain't really taking anything away from them, and we'll get there soon. So we just ran through the tight end room. Where do you want to go next?
We got to go right to the O-line room. And listen, let me tell you something. And I try not to besmirch no other channel or no other podcast or no other broadcast altogether, but a couple of these radio talk shows got some guys here that host these shows. Man, these some big crybaby, whining, looking for the next outrage type of, like, God damn. Like, man, God, quit complaining. When has complaining gotten you anything in your? I think this O-line group is pretty solid. If you look at the all 22 and the tape of these preseason games, one thing I can tell you for sure, I've seen improvement, big time improvement on the pass protections. The pockets were clean, especially when Caleb Williams was in there. That first group set some pretty nice protections up for him. Really, really nice. And I know everybody's complaining about, we don't got an offense, we don't have a left tackle. Listen, man, let me tell you something. One thing I can say is we got to give Braxton Jones a little bit of credit, because if anything else, that cat is resilient. The whole operation of this offseason, as far as the offensive line group goes, the operation was to find our new left tackle. And guess what? An injured Braxton Jones beat them all out. Now, Braxton Jones isn't ideal. I know. He's not the guy that I think moves forward with this team long term. Who knows? Things could change. But for now, Braxton Jones going into this season, getting ready to face the Minnesota Vikings, who will throw everything, the kitchen sink, the toilet, and their grandmama at you. the experience of Braxton Jones is going to pay dividends. The last thing you want going out there in the first game of the season against the Minnesota Vikings and that defense and that blitz is to put young, unproven talent out there. You thank Jesus right now that we got Braxton Jones going into that game. Just think. Just saying. We'll start right there, but I think this offensive line group is much, much improved, in my opinion, from what I've seen on tape.
All right. So that was a loaded take. I've heard what some of these guys are saying out there, and I don't necessarily disagree with their one specific angle of that take, but I do agree with you with respect to the entire line. I think that they've kind of moved heaven and earth to make a much improved line for Caleb Williams to pass behind, for DeAndre Swift to run behind. I think this line will improve both the run game and the pass game across the board. My caveat is the caveat that you brought up. I just feel that if the offseason came around and we looked at the left tackle position as a position that we needed to upgrade, I do not think that job was accomplished. And I can't not say that, because it's, to me, we started with the guy who's in the position right now. If he's the best guy if he's the best guy for the job at this present time, I understand. But again, that doesn't make me feel that much better, or
you can say that kids,
or say that they've improved that particular.
It's totally fine to be disappointed that the thing didn't play out the way people had planned for it to play out. All I'm doing is being respectful of Braxton Jones and his resilience, bro.
He's done a good. Hey, man, he did a great job. He won the job, and that was what it was. It was a competition. He won the job. I'm not trying to besmirch Braxton Jones. Just like you're saying, you're not trying to besmirch those podcasters. I'm unfortunately, to me, this goes to more. My ire is pointed much more directly at Ryan Poles, being the guy who was tasked with making some sort of a shift or upgrade at that position. And in that case, I believe he dropped the ball. He didn't do it. Did he upgrade the left guard? Yup. Did he upgrade center? Yup. Did he upgrade right guard? Yup. Sometimes you can't do it all.
And that, fair enough to Braxton Jones, worked his ass off, got injured, worked his ass off, came back, beat out the Canadian Eagle, beat out Amagaji, beat out Ozzy. But he's what he is, and he's good, but he's not. He's upgradeable. And this offseason, it was like, oh well, our second round pick Ozzy Trill, he's going to come in and go and battle for that position. And then Ryan Poles said, well, Ozzy hit that kind of rookie wall in the middle of camp. So all right, cool. Ozzy is a talented kid, and it's like, sure, well, we should have took a running back or another position or an edge. Well, we didn't. I'm not going to be mad at having talent that is developing on the O-line, such as an Ozzy or Theo, and maybe during the season by the trading deadline or next year, they beat Braxton Jones outright. And then that's fine. But like King is saying here, one offensive lineman problem is better than the 4 we had last year.
Oh, just timing back in the yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Because like kids are saying, the interior has been addressed with Dahlman, Jackson, and Tooney. Wright is still at right tackle. And now the quote-unquote weak link is, maybe that left tackle position. But having one weak link is a lot better than having 4 weak links. So it's a process. It's not where we want it to be yet, but looking at just this roster, it's so much more talented than it has been in recent years that not everything is fixed, but it's on the way. And to finish out, a couple of shout out for the offensive linemen, they're looking at Karan at guard now, possibly, and getting him some work there. And also got to give a shout out to Newman, because that kid can play.
Yeah, he can. You played great.
You know what? That I was saving that. I'm telling you right now, when I get to that, I'm going to embellish like a motherfucking man.
Well, go ahead, because that's all I got for the OL. Go ahead, no man.
I got plenty, man. Because one thing you probably should know while we're talking about O-line, this is another thing they're being intentional about. And this is very, very intentional. It's as intentional as it is getting 4 out of the 6 receivers on the list to be slot receivers. Is very intentional about how versatile these guys are on the offensive line. There's not a guy on here except for, let me see, the center and Luke Newman that hasn't touched left tackle. Every single one of them has had reps at left tackle. Every single one of them. And all of them have reps at right tackle. So they're all versatile. And the interior guys, even Ryan Bates has touched all of it. He's touched every last position there.
That's why you have to, like, he was the one. It's so funny because we went into the off season. I was like, oh man, dollars versus dollars. Ryan Bates is gone. And the reality is he's too versatile to let go. Right. Worst come to worst, you got a backup center. Worst come to worst, you got a backup guard. Worst come to worst, you got a backup tackle. You keep Ryan Bates regardless. He's worth that little piece of change that you pay him.
Man, I'm telling you right now, this is the most versatile offensive line group that I've seen in Chicago in my lifetime. You know,
the thing, and sorry to cut you off, but the thing is that not only the versatility, but with Jackson, Tooney being older, your veterans. Now you got Newman and Benedict and/or Amagaji working behind the scenes, getting better under Coach Rochar, getting stronger, getting smarter, getting more comfortable, having that versatility. So, you know, a lot of these guys are gonna, well, not a lot, but a few of these guys may be our offensive linemen of the future that are developing right now, like Ozzie. So they may not have this year immediate results and benefits, but it's a process.
Probably at Paul probably is going to be Blackwell. It could be several guys. It could be several. They got several guys that can get back there and grab a kick.
They had Jonathan Owens doing it too. So right, there's a few
options.
Options to choose from.
I do want to point out Luke Newman though, and kids knows, Trips knows. I've been like, man, this dude he's out there knocking it the fuck out the park, and it looks even better on all 22. We watching this shit live with these two guys, and I'm noticing it because I'm paying attention in the trenches. But you look at the shit on all 22, he looks like a veteran out there. It's like he knows how to, like, there's a little nuanced thing that offensive linemen do is making sure that you get properly split between the center and the guard, or the guard and the tackle, making sure you got your proper split so you're not tripping over each other's feet. That kind of shit I was noticing right away, properly set up. And well coached. You gotta give Dan Rochar a lot of credit, man. He came in pretty good. I thought he was pretty solid when we got him. But what I saw, you know, you're always gonna wonder what it's gonna look like with NFL speed, NFL caliber football players in front of you. Whether they put him on the left side, whether they put him on the right side, same results. Knocked it the fuck out of the park. That shit was impressive, bro. I'm telling you.
Did you see who he was blocking on against the Chefs?
Oh, he was handling Big 95.
And that's they stood, Chris Jones.
He was handling them. I mean, it was so impressive. Like, I've seen a lot of impressive stuff on film in this preseason for the Bears, but probably none more impressive than this rookie guard drafted in whatever round he was drafted in.
Fifth.
Take care of Biz, bro. That had to be probably the most impressive thing. And I saw some impressive stuff. It was Luke Newman. Luke Newman was a stud out there. He continues this way, we're going to have a Pro Bowl guard, wherever side he lands on. We're going to have a Pro Bowl guard for a long time, man. That shit looked really good out there. You're talking about the impact of a new offensive line coach coming in here and getting shit right. I mean, the offensive line, the way they fanned out for those pass pros and gave clean pockets to those quarterbacks on a regular basis, talking about the first 5. Shit was impressive, bro. I'm telling you. It was very, very impressive. And you notice when Ben Johnson was up there getting questions about how Caleb looked out there, he was just like, what about that pass protection? You guys have struggled like a motherfucker here in Chicago for years with pass pro. Look at what we got now. And I pray, and I'm knocking on wood right now, that it continues that way. Because if it does, we looking at gangbusters as far as what Caleb can do behind center, what he can do in shotgun. If they can keep providing those kinds of pockets for that quarterback, his growth is going to go up exponentially, bro. If they can just give him time to sit back there and process through his stuff. Right now, it's slow as far as Caleb goes and the processing goes. But if they continue to give him clean pockets like that, he's just going to get a little bit more and more comfortable, and it's going to speed up a little bit more just because he's getting a little bit more comfortable. You know, he might be still dealing with some demons from last year. You know, he might be. But that, I'm telling you, be clear, you guys. This offensive line is much, much more improved than it was last year. I'm just going to tell you that before I pass to these guys, we move to the next group.
Yeah, like I say, I like what they've done. At the end of the day, there's veterans here now that can help raise up the caliber of some of these younger kids. They've got some versatility. All I'll say to round out the O-line group from my perspective is, shout out to Bill Murray. I thought he was very versatile as well. McFadden is also a good look too. I'd like to see both those guys potentially make it onto the practice squad, worst come to worst. But I'll leave it there. Anything else on the O-line trip?
Just saw someone in the comments mention that Ryan Poles is doing that Eagles Howie Roseman stockpiling of the talent. And it's like, yeah, because injury happens. Now you have reserves that can come in and have the versatility to work this position or do that position. You look at just the starting 5, from left to right, you have backups behind them now. And then you have a couple guys that is like, don't know. But there's definitely better, deeper depth and a better future for the younger players that we get. So it's like, yeah, much, much improved.
Yeah,
extremely smart on Poles, the head coach, and everybody making sure that they kept a lot of depth in the trenches. Just like I thought they would, 10 and 10, somewhere about. I thought it would be like 9 and 10 on both sides. And that
well, we on the other side now, Nomad, and defensive line, those trenches.
I gotta mention. Kieran Amagaji. Now, I know most people, kids and trips included, thought that he was done for, and I kept on pounding the table like, nah, slow up, man, because what I'm seeing on tape is not saying hit the eject button. I thought it was smart for them to keep him. He's going to start getting some guard reps to make everybody versatile. They're going to throw him in at guard and start giving him some reps there. I think he's going to perform, but it won't be like they'll just throw him in there and leave him there. They'll keep getting him tackle reps on both sides, but getting more and more of these guys versatile as they can be is the best thing for your group. And so Kieran Amagaji, I thought the growth I seen from last year to this preseason and the snaps that he got was, I'm just going to tell you, it was impressive. And I know why they kept him, because that freaking tape is the truth. The tape was really, really good. I think he just got hurt at the last. I think he'd have a higher status in this group if he hadn't got hurt that last week or so of preseason, 2 weeks of preseason, however long it was. That hurt him significantly, man, in this race for left tackle, because Ben Johnson said it himself. This guy was making a lot of gains out there, and he was looking impressive. I started looking at what Herb Howard was saying on Twitter, and he was saying the same shit. And then I go to the All-22, and it all adds up. It was looking really good for him. Now, where we are is where we are, but I'm impressed with him. And I'm so glad they kept him and didn't just leave him out there for the Wolves to scalp him, because somebody would have easily picked that cat up and he'd end up in the next year or two being somebody's fucking starter. telling you, he's got boatloads of talent. They just got to put it all together for him, help him put it all together. So, kids, I know you want to speak to that.
I don't really. You know what I mean? Like, and it, my little comments are going to be facetious, and they'll start with Calvin C's comment, because Calvin's saying like Poles just don't want to. He just hates getting rid of his draft picks, and I kind of feel that's
all
got to
like that. But the tape is the truth, kids. I'm telling you, it's there.
If you say so, you know, I'm just looking at what the coaching staff obviously saw themselves, and what they saw was the Canadian Eagle flying past Karan as an undrafted free agent at some point in this competition. So if you can move him to left guard or right guard or someplace else to really get what he needs later, Jim, you know, to improve his stock, right? Behind a veteran talent like Joe Tooney or even Jonah Jackson, by all means, you invested in this particular talent. Do what you have to do. If it's truly just an injury case scenario, like, again, I chagrin here, and why I do is he was drafted hurt. He's hurt again. And, you know, this to me, at one point it's Karan, secondarily, again, it's Ryan Poles. So we'll see how it all transpires and how it all goes down. We do need to have this type of depth in the room. If we can increase his stock and make him that much better over time, the investment's already there. We might as well do that.
And it's not cool that he was drafted injured, so he didn't get a full camp then. Yeah. He, you know, keeps going down. When he's getting in a groove on the field, then he gets hurt. So, you know, hopefully he can get his body straight while he doesn't have to worry about, you know, competing for a starting job now. He can focus on maybe, you know, getting more reps at guard and staying healthy, and then let him develop. He's still under his rookie contract. He's still talented. And while McFadden, Miles were okay, but I still think Amagaji is better than them. And they are more, you know, practice squad eligible if, you know, possible. Whereas Amagaji wouldn't make it. And you just don't give up on his talent this soon because you don't have to. You know, it's not like he's due for a contract. It's not like he's, you know, keeping another offensive lineman that we like better out of the room. It's, you know, it's just give him time to develop.
Yeah. So I'm with that. I'm with it.
I'm going to say this too, man. I should have said this at the very beginning, but one of the things about me that you all should know by now is this time of the year is particularly sad for me, man. It's sad. It's very sad for me and happy at the same time because we get to see, you know, what kind of team we've constructed. But the sad part is the work that I know all these guys that are not on this roster now put in to get on this roster and to be put in all of that work. You're talking about year-round work and development. You're talking about they are year-round working, trying to get on one of these teams. And you're talking about some good football players. And some of them aren't NFL good. You know what I mean? Some of them are practice squad good. Some of them are bottom of your 53 good. But to get on a team and not be waived and not be cut at the end after all that work, all that preparation is absolutely sad for me. That's the football player in me, knowing what all that shit, what it takes. It is hard. It would be hard for me to be in that locker room watching that happen, man. That would be very difficult for me. I'm going to be trying to play hooky. I'm going to be trying to do something because I don't want to see cats that I'm grown attached to and bonded with go. You know, it's just sad. I hate it. You know, for most people, you know, it's just like, okay, that's just football, but not me. I'm just built different. It bothers me. I ain't gonna lie to you, but I just want to throw that out there before we get to the D line. And another group that I'm really, really impressed with. And the first thing I need to say is with respect to Dominique Robinson. Oh my Lord, y'all.
You're skipping, you're skipping over running back and quarterback.
We're gonna come back, man. I told you we're gonna go back to that.
All right.
Dominique Robinson, you got to get a guy his flowers, man. because what Dominique Robinson was for the past, 3 seasons we've had him, and what I've seen on tape are two different football players, two completely different football players. And what I saw was a guy that rushed with his hair on fire with one move each time, whether it was a speed rush or whether it was a power rush. Which I said, how many times, kids and trips, stop overdoing it. You got too much going on, son. Get one move down, get your counter move to it, and let's go. He took that shit to heart. And what you saw on film was Dominique Robinson constantly getting pressure throughout the preseason. I don't think that's a fluke. And I know people out there that say Dominique Robinson does that every preseason, yada, yada, yada. No, I think it's real this time. I think it's real this time because of the coaching, because of the training he put in and the work that he put into. I heard him on an interview somewhere. I don't know exactly where it was, but his introspective about how he's looked and why he looked the way he looked and why he hasn't been effective. He said everything that I'm saying right now. Trying to do too much. He got it narrowed down, and I'm telling you, again, another guy on the tape is very, very, very impressive, man. He's up there in that conversation with Luke Newman. Completely different football player, guys. Got to get a man his flowers, man. So if anybody wants to speak to Dominique Robinson before we talk about these other guys, go ahead.
I saw a little bit of both. The first 2 games, I saw a completely different Dominique Robinson. And then in that 4th game, I saw the return of the Dominique Robinson that I have, that I know. So I don't know. I don't know what to say. Those first 2 games, though, and maybe it has more to do with the remaining players on that line as a package with Austin Booker. There was a lot of pressure being caused by the 2 of them together in those first few preseason games. That last one without Austin Booker, he got stood up again. He looked pedestrian. Well said. It was just, and it might have everything to do with who he was up against in Kansas City and their tackle in that respect. Hard for me to say. Regardless, the thing about this kid is that he's a freak athlete. I'm gonna give him the slight benefit of the doubt here. He's a freak. He can do just about anything you ask him to do. And what he's done over the last 2 seasons is put on size and strength, whereas before he was just long and fast. So he has the speed. Now he has the length didn't go anywhere. Now he also has the strength. What he's missing, and you just kind of alluded to it, what he's missing is a bag of tricks. And we'll see how that goes as he continues to develop. But I just have a feeling that it's got more to do with for Dominique Robinson, and in this particular preseason, I think it has more to do with the rest of the offensive line. That's really what my thoughts is. And I kind of want to see him on the edge with the actual finished product of this offensive line. Grady Jarrett, Javon Dexter, Austin Booker on the other side potentially, and Montez Sweat takes a break and they throw in Dom Robb. That's kind of what I want to see.
Let me ask you a question, kids. I want to know, man, and you too, Trish, if you want to speak to this, because I can remember in my lifetime, I didn't really consistently keep muscle on me the same like the weight that you train to get to a certain weight and for that certain amount of muscle. It would, once I start playing, the season, I'm gonna lose. Start playing football, I'm gonna lose like freaking 5 to 7 pounds per game and shit, and then have to get that muscle and that weight back on me. Well, I think Dominique Robinson is doing. So what I want to ask you is, at what age, like in my mid-20s, is somewhere around the time when I can consistently keep muscle on me. So I want to know what time in your life did you realize you can keep a consistent amount of mass on
It's definitely around.
Trick
Like,
question.
how old is he now? He's not that old. I think he's probably 25 now.
That's what I'm saying. He's about 25, mid-20s. And
Yeah,
right
I don't. That's part of what intrigues me about Dominique Robinson, and it's less whether he can hold the mass or not, because that's yet to be determined. It's the fact that he could step away from the game for a couple of months and completely change his body type, and he's done it twice. So he did it last year. Now he's larger than he was last year, so he's made additional gains this year. And I like that. I think that shows his dedication to the craft and how serious he is about being successful as an edge rusher. So, those are the things that I'll say. I'm not sure how long that size is going to stay with him. You're right. He may wind up losing that just over the course of the season. A flip side to this is he might also wind up getting bigger. Hard to say.
Sounds like the nutritionists in there are doing a good job, because you ain't gonna, like, throughout a camp, all that running and all the conditioning that you got to be doing. He's telling everybody, he's like, I've been able to consistently keep the weight I gained on me and add a couple of pounds. So somebody inside that building is feeding him. The nutritionists, the trainers, they're doing a good job of that. They're doing a really good job of that, because that's a hard. Imagine going and losing 5 to 7 pounds every time you go play a game, and you got to spend the rest of the week trying to put them pounds back on so you can play another game. That kind of shit. And I'm talking about high school and college. We talking about a professional where it's your job to maintain a certain consistency with your body, your physicality, everything, your conditioning. They're doing a good job with him, a really good job. I just had to point that out. That's not easy. That's not easy when you're doing all that running.
Yeah, I could tell you, I passed 200 pounds by the time I graduated from 8th grade. I was roly-poly, but I'm what do you call it? A large frame person, dense. I'm heavy, but not like huge. You know what I mean? I'm big boned. I'm hung low.
Pudgy, huh?
Yeah. But I didn't start really lifting until like my teenage years. But as we know, we don't stop growing physically, into our mature bodies until 20 something, early 20s. And so the thing with Don Rob is he was a quarterback. Then he was, I think, a wide receiver. And then when we drafted him or assigned him as a UDFA, rather, he was a athlete without a position, basically. So it's like, we're gonna make him a DN.
He played edge. He played edge 1 year.
Edge? Oh, 1 year, okay.
He played edge.
We're gonna make him a professional DN.
In
NFL, right? All right. So it was because of his athletic prowess and talents, but he's dedicated himself mentally and physically to the work of being a professional, as well as learning the moves, or a move, counter move, how to slow down thinking and not saying, well, I gotta be an all around, defensive end or edge rusher right now. It's like, all right, slow it down. And he has flashed enough to remain on the squad. Now he's not your, a starting, I would say, defensive end or edge rusher, but he's a solid athlete who can wreak a little havoc given the right circumstance and situation. And defensively, along that line, as long as there are other guys, he should be able to handle his one-on-ones, because ain't nobody double teaming Don Rob because of the other guys that we have on the line. So he has to be able to beat those one-on-ones, whether he's on the left side, right side, inside, wherever they line him up. But his not his advancement, his development is obvious. We can see that physically, we can see it on the field. Now, it's not enough for some people, but it was enough for him to make this roster, currently. So as long as he's developing, can't be mad at it. We would like him to come in a finished product or develop faster, but that's not always the case. Maybe it'll take him, as long as it has to now. It's like, okay, he's a solid, rotational kind of player. He's not going to be all pro, but he'll be solid enough to contribute to a winning team.
I was very pleased with what I seen on tape. He deserves his flowers, man, because everybody counted him out. We when they're wrong, we get on them. But when they're right, you got to give them their flowers, man. He deserves his flowers, man. That man did everything he had to do to make this initial 53-man roster. And, you got to give him credit for it, man. Another guy that really, really stuck out was Chris Williams. Chris Williams actually turfed out Zach Pickens. That's the way you got to look at this. Chris Williams turfed out Zach Pickens. Kids, you remember me saying this to you? When I said Chris Williams is the most athletic 3-tech that we have on the team. And that includes Grady, that includes Javon, and everybody else that we have that runs out of that position. He's the quickest, most explosive one of the bunch. And that's saying a lot because Grady he's a bomb. He's a freaking explosive bomb. And Chris Williams is more explosive than him. He can really get upfield. And because of that, he turfed out a 3rd-round pick. Was it 2nd-round pick or 3rd-round pick in Zach Pickens? That is impressive. He went from a practice squad guy bouncing around from team to team to earning a spot on a 53-man roster with the new regime coming in the building. We grabbed Chris Williams last offseason off of a practice squad with Flus and those dudes. Most of those guys always get cut when the next regime comes. There's the changeover of regimes. This guy made it through that and got on the 53. He's not a practice squad player. You got to show that guy the ultimate respect.
Wow.
He's a dog.
There's no questions that he is. And he proved it last season, let alone this preseason or anything to that effect. So if I'm the new regime coming in the door and I'm watching film and I stop and I go, oh snap, Big Bill goes down. What does the rest of the D line look like? Now the Bill's down. Oh, we're getting gashed up. Who's on the line? And that particular main guy, the main culprit who was on that line, ain't here anymore. So there's that. We didn't see much improvement from that particular gentleman throughout the preseason. I think it was well documented that there needed to be a stark improvement from that particular gentleman. There was not. But on the flip side of all that, there were 2 people who stood out. One of them is also not on this list. So shout out to John Ford. He didn't make my list either. His preseason was not what one would have wanted to see. Didn't put up really great tape this preseason. I'm going to give him a little bit of the benefit of the doubt and say that he was lined up directly beside the other gentleman I was just talking about for every snap that he took in preseason. So together, those guys just did not look good. John Ford more or less saved the day last season, and I thought maybe you hold on to him, but there's only so much room on a 53-man squad. Shamar Turner was a fresh new draft pick. They're definitely holding on to him. And when it comes down to it, if we're talking about the 3 remaining guys that you're sort of thinking of for backup capacity, Chris Williams, Zach Pickens, and Jonathan Ford, I think they selected the right guy in Chris Williams. Chris Williams, all the way through preseason, showed improved. And he also did during that stint last season when things were going sideways after Billings left. Chris Williams was the one guy that we could kind of count on, and he was holding it down, whether he was paired up with Zach or John Ford. He was doing a great job.
Can you say earned it?
He did, dog.
Yeah. And that's a shout out also where, yes, Ryan Poles, let's say, quote unquote, messed up by taking Pickens in the 3rd round, whereas Williams, worked his ass off from UDFA and was able to come in and say, hey, that 3rd round pick, yeah, you out of there because I'm taking this spot. Maybe it's a different regime, different schemes, different, coaching staff and all that. same players, and Mr. Williams was out there balling. You know, we could see him in the games. You see him showing up on film. And when Pickens was in the game, it was like, is he in the game?
First,
there he is.
First preseason game, he showed his ass now. It was
but that was just
dude. He just tailed off like a son of a bitch, man.
Too much, too little, too late.
If he'd have kept going at the rate he was going trips after that first game, if he'd have kept up that,
it would have made a tougher decision.
It would have been. We might be having a different conversation, but he tailed off.
Yeah. And so let the best players play and make the team, and clearly, Pickens was not as good as Williams over the whole course body of work.
And I'm so glad you fellas that even that had to be tough for Ryan Poles, because no GM, I don't give a shit who he is, wants to see the guys that he picked, especially that high, go by the wayside and somebody else come in and he can give himself double credit or some kind of credit because he did draft Pickens, but he also grabbed Chris Williams, and look what happened with him. And so all the people out there kicking Ryan Poles and all on Twitter kicking him in the nuts about how many of his draft picks have worked out, and people live to do that kind of shit on Twitter. I hate it, but regardless, man,
you clearly do, because there's some questionable shit, bro.
The thing is, Ryan Poles is like, have him skip 3, 4, and 5, and just have him do 6, 7 UDFAs.
If there was a manual that every GM could have, you say you do exactly this, and every last one of your draft picks will work out. Every motherfucker in the league will have it. But this is what happens, man. Every single football player that gets drafted is a fucking projection, bro. Just know that. And some of them don't work out quite as well. To me, I think they hurt Zach Pickens in the very beginning when we got him by putting him at nose guard. That's not his natural position. And I don't know that any of that cleansed his palate. If he cleansed any of that from his palate and got into where he needed to be. I don't know, man. But regardless, he ain't here now. I don't know what's going to happen on the practice squad, but we'll see. So I'm just giving that guy credit. Chris Williams turfed him out, point blank, period. It's his job now. You know what I mean? But another guy on this list that really, and this is the guy I'm going to be watching the entire season with every time I see 92 come in the game, I'm going to be like, yeah, let's go.
Get some.
Daniel Hardy, for 2 years straight, has been on the practice squad, and has hardly ever gotten a chance to get in. He's on a 53-man roster. And every time you turn around, you heard a coach talking about it. Every time you turned around, I'm looking at reporters, Daniel Hardy. This guy, they got to get him some tick. And I think they will on this team. That guy is in that conversation with Luke Newman, Dominique Robinson, Austin Booker, some of the guys that really, really stood out in this preseason. Daniel Hardy is a stud, man. And you can't it's like trying to get rid of Daniel Hardy is like trying to get rid of some incurable disease. That cat ain't going nowhere. He ain't going nowhere. And if they do like I think they're gonna do and just put him on the field, I think we'll be talking less and less about how good this pass rush is. If they give him some tick, he's a different kind of pass rusher. He's the most unique pass rusher that we have on the team. He's a little shorter, he's a little quicker, he's a little faster than every single one of those guys, and he has great bend, and he can get underneath like some of these really good pass rushers that make all the sacks in the league. All they got to do is put him on the field. Daniel Hardy is going to produce if you put him on that grass. I'm proud as shit of Daniel Hardy. One of these days I want him on the show so I can tell him how much I believe in him and how much I've studied the dog shit out of Daniel Hardy. Now I know he's a dog. And he keeps after opportunity after opportunity after opportunity proving it to me. I don't know how y'all feel about him, but I think this dude's a stud, and I'm so glad they finally put him on the 53.
He's one of them people. So I thought he was going to take Dominique Robinson's spot. That's really my two cents about this. I said it from jump. I said him and Amen Agbagbamiga are going to somehow find their way
Yeah,
on this.
they made them get rid of Tano, and I know they didn't want to.
Wow.
Tano got to go.
You keep saying that, but Tano didn't do a damn thing this preseason.
It doesn't matter what he did in the preseason. I know what he can do.
Well,
he didn't do
bring
it.
You in and you debut for a team. I didn't see anything really popping with him. And like, let's be frank here. I thought Dom Robb was out until I saw him popping out there. You know what I mean? He's there to prove it. Daniel Hardy comes every day proving it. Every day, whether he's on special teams, linebacker, you know what I mean? Like, don't matter where he's at. He's gonna hit somebody and put him in the dirt. That's what he does. He's coming to do it every single Sunday. So I know what they're getting with Dan Hardy, and I was ready for it. I'm not surprised for a second that he made this team. He made my 53 without question. I just wasn't like I said, I had a feeling he was going to take Dom Robb's spot, but in this case, Dom Robb took Tano's spot. That's my thoughts.
You know, Hardy has been a baller since he's been here, and anytime he gets on the field, because he's a football player.
Yep.
Special teams is like he just wants to run down there and hit somebody, and you got to block a kick or a field goal. Okay, let me get that. I get to play defensive end now. Let me get this sack force fumble. I got to go in linebacker. All right, I can drop off in the coverage. What you need, coach? Daniel Hardy is that jack of all trades, master of none except being a dog. So he is going to make a play because that's what he does. That's in his nature. Every time he's had an opportunity on the field, he's made the best of it. And give him an opportunity on, let's say, the NASCAR package line with Booker on the other side. You know, that's going to be a problem for those ends because they just scream after the ball wherever it is. So Hardy's going to be that kid that, you know, if he doesn't get a pressure or the sack in the backfield, he's going to chase down a quarterback from behind or running back from behind and knock the ball out because he plays to the whistle every single goddamn play. And I love that about him.
Man, dude, I'm telling you, Daniel Hardy, you just wait. No maniacs, you just wait. Watch 92 this year. They didn't keep him on the 53 not to play him. They put him on that grass, and the more and more they put him on that grass, you watch. I'm telling you, man, I know a stud football player. He's gonna be one. The rest of these guys, yeah, the rest of these guys on this list, no surprise here for the most part here. You know, I think that group is coming together as we speak. They're learning to play with each other. Now that they're down to so many people in the room, they're just going to get better and better. Both sides of the trenches on the offense and the defensive side of the ball. Now they get better. This is the most important time for them, is now they get to take multiple reps with each other, and you ain't cycling out guys. And, you know, this is the good shit. When they start taking reps with each other on a regular basis next to each other, this is going to be the good shit. So expect that group to get better and better throughout the season. This next group, really no surprises here, but kids, I gotta
really?
I gotta tap you a little bit because I told you Nick McLeod was gonna make this motherfucker, didn't I?
Okay, that's where you're going. Yeah, I didn't see anything from Nick McLeod all preseason. I got to be straight about that. Mind you, I mean he's a veteran player, so this probably, in my opinion, has more to do with what he's done than what he did. You know what I mean? Like there's.
You just said the same thing. What he's done and what he. Come on, man.
What he's done.
He made
what
it.
He did right.
He made it, kids. He made it.
I didn't say he didn't make it.
I'm just saying, give him some credit.
I don't have any credit to give him. I didn't see shit from him.
You got to give him some credit.
And the possibility he's only made it because Smitty went out.
Well, there's the Smitty going out. There's also two other things. The other two guys who got cut from this cornerback room,
I think Nashawn Wright might have been
up the field this past Friday, right? Both 23
might have been the other cut.
Oh, Trey Flowers,
23 and 26. Both those guys didn't play very well.
Nashawn Wright would have been the other cut if Smitty wasn't here. If Smitty was here.
You think Nick McLeod would have made it over Nashawn Wright?
Yes, because I think they can supplement Nick McLeod in the safety room. I keep trying to tell you that.
Okay.
We only kept 4 fucking safeties.
Huh.
So that's a strategic move. I kept trying to tell you he can give some run in the safety room. He can play both inside and outside corner spots. The slot, he can play both boundary spots. He can play some safety if they threw him out there.
So he's versatile. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
I kept trying to tell you that.
All right. Well, he's like he made the team. You know what I mean? Like I said,
Right.
I didn't see him do. I didn't see anything with 24 in these preseason games at all. I saw 23 out there, and 23 was hurting. Speaking of getting hurt, then Smitty got hurt, so they had to keep somebody. And 26 was also out there, and he wasn't doing very good either.
Samo, I think Nashawn Wright ain't safe. I think
you saying McLeod ain't safe.
Yeah, I think Nashawn Wright ain't safe. That's just my
waivers are being placed, and if hell, I look at it like this: McLeod and or both Wright ain't safe, depending on who they can claim.
Well, why?
Because we saw Wright get toasted, but he's okay, I guess is what we got. But theoretically, we really shouldn't have to see McLeod on the field unless somebody got hurt in cornerbacks or the safeties, unless he's on special teams. So, I mean, he's, he didn't show a lot. I think, kids, the point was he did, but didn't. He didn't show a lot this preseason, but he's here based on his previous.
That's what I said. It's more about what he has done in the past,
right,
versus what he did in the preseason. That's exactly what I was saying, right? So if you're looking at his previous film, and that's the reason why you brought him in, and that's the reason why he stuck around, I can't argue with that. I can also argue that the two guys who got a lot more run than he did in the preseason didn't fare very well. And I'm not going to take anything away from the Sean Wright with this last game. He played well in the first two, but this last game was a little weird. Like I said, there's a lot more press man against the Chiefs, and we weren't getting any pressure. And there goes your press man if you ain't getting any pressure on the D line. Yeah. Secondarily, you're doing press man against Xavier Worthy, who's the fastest man in the bloody in football,
and Thornton.
And Thornton ain't slow either, right? So it was just a bit of a weird situation, and I have a feeling it was more what they were asking him to do than scheme. I think it was, hey, like, we want to see how you handle this guy, this type of speed in a press man situation, and clearly it wasn't great. So, but I've got no problems with Nashawn Wright. I think he's going to do all right. The best part of this little cornerback situation for all y'all is Jalen Johnson is back. He's been pulled off of waivers. Or sorry, not waivers. He's been pulled off the IR.
That situation is a little fluid. I don't know exactly how that's going, but we'll see moving forward. But I do think I have to stop and point out Samo is right. The waiver wire period, I do think there's a move to be made in that room. I do think there's a move to be made. So
there's corners out there.
So and we're going to get into a couple of them, I think. Yeah, we're going to get into a couple of them. That room is look out for that on the waiver wire in the next 72 hours, man. I think there's a move to be made. Samo's right about that. There could be some additions there. So let's move to the linebacker room. There's definitely no surprise here.
Really?
Most people, Carl Jones isn't a surprise.
He's a surprise.
Not to
me. No, I don't. Before we get to the ones that make the team, the ones that didn't make the team, Amen Abamiga, he didn't get cut or waived. He got an injury designation.
Yeah, he'll be out for 4 weeks. They'll be able to put him back out there in game 5 or 6.
Right. So that might be why you are surprised at the Carl Jones there, kids.
I think that's why Carl Jones is there. It's really just because Amon is hurt. I didn't see nothing from Carl Jones that I can talk about. I saw
43. He was all over that field doing stuff, though.
Yeah, I saw other guys that were all over the field doing stuff, much more so than Mr. Jones. And they're the two guys above him. Noah Sewell jumped out, proved the theory.
They're on the team, though, too.
Yeah, but we didn't see nothing from Noah Sewell for 2 solid years. Now we're seeing it, and it looks great. Ruben Hippolyte being the super questionable pick out of all of the many Ryan Poles questionable picks, looked decent. He looked great in special teams capacity too. So I hope to see, I hope to see good things from him as well, and I expect both. Right, I do expect some good reps from him as we move into the regular season. Mind you, I was really impressed by Noah Sewell. Like Nomad was touting this Noah Sewell idea, and I was like, bruh, sure, if you say so. I haven't seen him on the field for 2 years. He's been on the team. I think he's got 12 snaps. I look at the stats. It's like, yeah, about 12 snaps in 2 seasons. What are we talking about? He went out there, looked fantastic. So I do know that Tremaine's got a little bit of a boo-boo of some kind. And I think we're going to see Noah Sewell in the middle linebacker position. And I'm not worried about that. Would you believe that? I think he's going to do great.
He was wearing the green dot, calling out defensive players, getting everybody lined up.
Paul?
He looked good doing it. What up, Paul? He is finally showing that it's like, okay, he's developing, and it's like, okay, you look like a good linebacker. And then Carl Jones, his speed is also an upgrade along with Hippolyte, as both of those guys can fly and play special teams and stuff linebackers and have a little versatility to cover tight ends. So the way that they can be deployed is also very versatile in that linebacker room to go along with these other rooms we've already discussed.
Speed and physicality is what I see in this room. Speed, physicality. That's why I'm not surprised about
brains.
Yeah. And that's why I'm not surprised about Carl Jones, because that guy, little do people know, man, you watch some UCLA Carl Jones tape, and let's just say you looked at the highlights, right? And if you looked at Carl Jones's highlight tape, all you're going to see is him rushing and passing. That's what you see. But if you go into detail of what Carl Jones is as a linebacker in that system that they played in, he also fits, and again, this is the initial 53. That could change too. But Carl Jones is pretty impressive, man. I'm just saying, he doesn't get out on the field, and he doesn't get an opportunity during the regular season to prove me right. But I think this guy is not only fast, physical, he reads his keys very well. He plays in space pretty decent. I ain't going to say he's the best coverage linebacker, but he's fast enough. Even when he gets wrong, the speed helps him correct it. Foot quickness off the chain. And so he's a nice piece to have. And I'm so glad that Dennis Allen is here, so that, some of these guys, like Noah Sewell's of the world, in this system, some of that we're talking about, that I'm talking about right now, you can kind of see it on display. Like Noah Sewell, everything that we talked about like his physicality, his instincts to get to the ball, his ability to rush the passer, just his football speed, forget a 40 speed, was on display on film. And I thought that if Dennis Allen just looked at that Oregon tape, and just to get a brief glimpse of what was coming into camp and what he had to work with, I said he would love that guy. And I'm not here to pat myself on the back. I'm just saying.
But you will.
I'm saying, bro. I'm saying he was wise. He was wise to give this kid the opportunity that he gave him, and he proved himself right by giving it to him, because he showed out.
Well,
showed out.
If he didn't, he was getting booted off the squad because he was doing it for 2 years. So I'm super happy that he showed out, man. I'm super happy that he did, because I did not expect it to happen. So shout out to Noah Sewell. I want to give another shout out that we
started. Don't be getting mad because I'm right, motherfucker. Now,
see,
don't get mad now.
The man just finished saying he's not trying to pat himself on the back.
I'm accurate. That means I did my work, motherfucker. So give me
I swear your Mike.
Hey, you know what? Hey, Trips, any other motherfucker come on that from any other
homie who used to pat himself on the back in wrestling.
Hey, Trips, any other analyst comes on this channel.
Nomad is the son of Iron Mac Sharp.
It's quick to give him his flowers, but he's working with a dog every fucking day. He never gives me no flowers. I'll take him, motherfucker.
Don't let me stop you, because you know what I mean.
Kids are just hating you because you're beautiful.
Hey, man, that's all it is, man. Hey, you
The
working
son
with
of
a
Iron
dog.
Mark Show.
There's
There he is.
like you are working with like one of the dogs of the Bears podcast world. Give me my work, man. I put my work in. I know what I'm talking about.
All right.
Yeah, I
dude.
mean, watching the films, putting out the shorts, and giving the breakdowns. And if we look at the body of work that, let's say, the scout nomad has put together over the course of the last few years, he's been pretty on point with athletes, with his analysis of their strengths, weaknesses, if they fit or not, and their development. So it's like, yeah, nomad, he knows what the fuck he's talking about. So stop tripping, kids.
I
Hey,
appreciate
man.
that, man. Thank you.
He's
sir.
also full of shit sometimes, and I'm here to.
Oh,
Well,
man.
there is
All right.
that.
First,
So
start with the main
somebody
thing.
got to pull cards, man.
All you had to do
I'm
was say,
I'm
"I
your
agree,
fucking
man." He
dealer.
does do
And
his
keep
work.
it moving.
If there's somebody who got to pull the card, I'm your dealer.
All
Bro.
you had to do is say, "I agree." He does do his work, but you had to go there.
There you go. I'm just
That's okay.
messing with you.
I
Your
love
hero
you
biscuit,
too, you son of a bitch.
your hero biscuit is on delivery. I just called it in for Uber Eats. They'll be delivering you a hero biscuit.
All right, man.
I
Listen,
love being an asshole live on YouTube. It's great. But I want to give a little bit of love to Josh Blackwell. Flex Diggs was just saying.
what do you say?
No, he was just saying that like he kind of gets overlooked a little bit, and
No, not on this channel.
Another
he don't.
well, I'm just
UDFA.
saying, I fully agree with them. I think that Josh Blackwell adds that additional level of special teams value as well. He adds that wrinkle in the nickel area. He's an all-around corner, right? So I just want to give him a little bit of hype too. I'm impressed not impressed that he made the squad, because I didn't think there was any question that he wouldn't. You know what I mean? Like, he was definitely going to make the squad. I just like what he brings to the table, man. So I wanted to give him a little bit of love.
Y'all want a hot take?
What's
Josh
that?
Blackwell is top 7 in nickel cornerbacks in football, and he's number 2 on this team. I don't mind fucking saying that out loud.
That's a very hot take. There's 32 football teams in the league, but I do think that Kyler Gordon is in the top 3.
Oh, Kyler Gordon's top 2, 3. Yeah, somewhere in the neighborhood, but Blackwell ain't that far behind him.
And then also a shout out to Blackwell, because he came in as a UDFA, made his bones on special teams, got a little run every now and then at nickel, and now he's like basically your second string nickel. And so he has developed, he has matured, he has gotten stronger, gotten faster, and gotten smarter as a football player. Another dog football player. Let's go.
All right. We need to hurry up and get finished with this. Let's go to the safety room and we'll leave it there, because I ain't sitting there talking about no special teams and shit.
Well, like, they ain't really done to talk about with safety and special teams. The guys that everybody assumed were going to be here are here. Elijah Hicks, John Owens, Kevin Byard, and Jaquan Brisker are leading the charge in the safety room. I think we're straight with those two positions.
And but before we go, a shout out to Santos for increasing his leg strength and his distance from last season. He's added like what? Damn near 10 yards to his distance for field goals. Now, I'm not gonna say we should have him P tested or nothing, but I'm saying.
Listen, man, the safety room, I don't know that we had another position outside of maybe the tight end group that was more moving and interchangeable pieces. This offseason, I'm talking about from the beginning of the offseason to the free agent period to the draft. This group, there was a lot of pieces that came in here, that came and left. Another position group that maybe we ought to pay close attention to come this next 48 to 72 hours, because I think there could possibly be a move. I think it's less likely than some of the other two that we talked about because of Nick McLeod. I think Nick McLeod can come in there and supplement that group, but there's only 4 guys there, and there could be another move to happen there. But I'm pleased with the group. It's about exactly what I thought it was. Any quick thoughts about that?
The safety room?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, like I say, those are the 4 safeties that I had on my 53 as well. There's no questions there. I think I added Alex Cook to my to my practice squad as a backup safety that we could pull on the 53 worst come to worst. But I think we're okay with the humanity that we have. I'll be honest, I don't think they go hunting for a safety here tonight. So apparently the Bears brass is all holed up in House Hall right now. They've got sandwiches and salad and catering in the building, chips and you name it. They're staying overnight. They're calling it an all-nighter, and they're gonna see what they can find on the waiver wire. I think that's job one.
Well, speaking of safeties, I know we're going to get into it with available people, but Dan Brown is saying, he hopes that they check out Braden Swinson, who New England cut, and there are going to be other guys out there because of these 4 safeties, there are none under contract beyond this year.
Oh snap! That's fact.
If there's a way to get in some younger or better talent, you got to investigate.
All right. Well, let's talk about this running back room so we can get to some of these available pieces, because I focus more on some of the later drafted football players this year and some of the UDFAs that this year that was either cut or released. I focused on them, but I got a handful of guys to talk about, veterans that may be out there for grabs too. But let's talk about this running back room. I've been saying it all off season. This ain't good enough. And it ain't good enough. I don't care what nobody says. Everybody's like, so many people like, no, man, we're fine. No, we ain't. No, the fuck we ain't. That room ain't good, man. By no stretch of the imagination, unless Roschon Johnson and Kyle Monangai turn into Barry Sanders overnight, this running back room is fucked up. And we need some help. There ain't no two other ways about this, man. In order for us to get this offense going in the way it needs to go, this running back room has to be better than this. There's somebody out there that we don't have on this team yet. We're going to talk about that in a minute. But what say you about this running back group? Should be no surprises there.
No surprises, because I was on the Astrogenti train. I said, trade up, go get yourself a running back. Didn't do that, and they said, you know what? Let's wait. We'll get him in the second round. And before they could blink, all the other guys, the other targets that they had lined up were gone, and there was a shining wide receiver in the mix. And they went and picked him up. And I think the league is going to be so mad that they let the Chicago Bears get Luther Burden 3. I think the league is going to be mad about it at the end of all this. But that being said, we still have a massive, gigantic, gaping hole in a running back room. And, I kept these 3 guys on my 53 for one reason and one reason only. Ian Wheeler had already been cut, and to back that up, Hankins is hurt. So's Travis Homer. So you got to have a couple of bodies in here. You know what I mean? Like, it's basically the only reason why I have these 3 guys here. And I feel like that's really the reality, for Ryan Poles, Ben Johnson, and the rest of the coaches.
Yeah.
I think Swift is great. I think he'll do his, fulfill his role, but he needs a little bit of help in certain capacity. And I don't think he's going to get it from Roschon Johnson. He might get it from Kyle Monangai, but that's yet to be seen. And
well, it was
also hurt.
Oh, sorry. Ryan Poles did say in his press conference that the running back room is going to look different. I mean, he specifically said that. It's like, the way it looks now, it's going to be different. Because Swift, cool. All right, Monangai, rookie, worked hard, looks good, cool. But like King Booker is saying, Rojo just, when he's on the field healthy, what have we seen? I mean, what can we say Rojo's good at? I mean, we don't know. He's good at putting his head down and barreling into the thing, which is scrambling up his yokes up there. And that's not a good thing for a running back. So, I mean, I guess Britton Brown was just a camp body and maybe practice squad to, take some of those reps.
Britton Brown wasn't pretty much.
But Britton Brown, I saw more than I've seen from Roschon in his career here. And I've been paying attention. I've been watching, as we all have. And unless somebody can, share with us, no maniacs, anybody, what I mean, cool cowboy hats and shit, but I mean, on the field, what are we doing here? So with the Homer on temporary IR, he should be back in 4 weeks or, scheduled to be or whatever, even though he really doesn't bring much and offer into the running back room as well. They're definitely going to be scouring that waiver wire for some humanity in that room, as kids would say.
Hey, man, I want to say this, and Crimson is not wrong. I'm going to read it. He says, who was Rojo coached by the last couple of years? Let's see what EB does with him. You got that. You got that going on. True. I think the improvement, and I've been saying this too many times. I feel like I'm a broke ass record, but to be judging these running backs that have been here, given the situation and the functionality of that offensive line, I think it's totally unfair. And so on Crimson's side of it, I'm not trying to besmirch Roschon Johnson. I don't think he's a great running back, but I do think he's very serviceable. Same way Khalil Herbert was, guys like that can get.
You gone too far, dog. Hold on, you gone too far with that. I was with you. I was going to shut up.
Let me finish my take.
I
this
will.
Offensive line lacked consistent functionality, and to judge these running backs, knowing that, it's great to have a hot take and a laugh, but the truth is, maybe we have been underestimating what Roschon Johnson can do, given the state of that offensive line. That offensive line was poor. When I say poor, I mean take one O off. That motherfucker was in the R. It was Poe. I mean, it was Poe. And to judge Roschon Johnson is a little unfair. And so I do look forward to what he can bring to the table. I think he's still a decent piece, but everybody else is just a mystery to me. Even Kyle Monangai. I think there are better pieces out there. And we're going to get to some of that. Last thoughts on the running back room before we get to a couple of players that might be out there.
No, let's look at who's who in the zoo right now, because you just named one of the guys that happens to be in that zoo, and I think he's an upgrade to Roschon Johnson one time.
Well, let's just stick to that. Let me get to that, man. Let's stick to the room.
I'm good. I gave my take on this room. We know where we are with the room. What do you think, Trips?
Yeah, we can keep it moving.
All right, let me get this down and let me get to some of the. We ain't gonna get right to the running backs, so just gonna let y'all know right now. Okay. But I do got a couple of guys that we should pay close attention to. We'll start with a running back. This is Montrell Johnson out of Florida, 5'11", 216 pounds. I think he got cut by. I can't remember who he got cut by, but this is a very, very physical, strong running, has some long speed, very good back. Now, if we were ever a lucky enough team to be kind of deplete in the running back room and to have opportunities in the out here, this is a good time to have him. This is a nice looking running back right here out of Florida. The No Maniacs that have been following the channel, they saw the shorts on him, and he's out there. He was in I can't remember exactly what team it is. No Maniacs can help me.
So he was a Philadelphia Eagle. I'll help you.
So there it is. There it is. You go to a team like that, even if you're a really solid football player, you might not make the team because the team is so deep. This is a good running back. I'm telling you, go check him.
Yeah, you're not beating out Saquon Barkley or Kenneth Gainwell on that team. So that's probably got a lot to do with it. The one thing that I'll say two things about this guy. The first one is I've never seen him play. All right. I'll be completely upfront and vanilla in that respect. Never seen him play. I've got nothing to offer in that respect. What I do have to offer, though, is that if Howie Roseman drafted this guy, he's probably a lot better than anybody knows. Why? So I'm pretty sure Howie Roseman is the best GM in the entire league.
They got some great talent evaluators inside that building.
Is this a rookie?
Yeah.
This season, drafted this year.
I mean, 5'11", 216. That's a short, bowling ball kind of, stout fella. And hey, I'm not familiar with him, but if Nomad, who is good at scouting, right, kids, says that he's good,
What
I'll
did you
go
want?
with it.
Did you want a soliloquy on there, or what did you want? I'm trying to let you give your take. You give your take, dog.
Well, we just an agreement was good. That was good.
See, there you go.
So, but yeah, if the room needs an upgrade, running back room for the Bears, that is, and there is talent out there that can be had that would assist in upgrading that room. If like Howie Roseman, the GM extraordinaire says, "Hey, this kid's got talent. Let's draft him." But our room is so deep we can't keep him, and our team is so deep we can't keep him. Let's see if he can get to the practice squad. It's like, yeah, let's go and snatch him up. Because guess what? We need help in the running back room.
And you know what, Trips? I think what's important to know, you guys, is having a compliment to the skill set of DeAndre Swift. This guy right here, go look at him on film. Go check out Montrell Johnson, Florida. If you can find all 22, great. But go just look at the highlights if you want to. But what you're going to see is the thunder that we're kind of missing inside that running back room. And I know everybody thinks Kyle Monunga is that and Roshan Johnson is that, maybe, but maybe not. This guy is physically built to give out punishment when he's running that ball. This is a hard running dude, and he's got a lot of agility in the hole, man. You'll see him bounce and pick up and get back to he's bouncing at about 8 to 9 speed. And when he picks up speed again, once he cuts, he's back to that 8 or 9 speed really, really fast. That's one of the traits about him that I thought was really impressive. One of the things I didn't notice about him, I didn't get a chance to really study him as a pass catcher a lot, but what I did see in a limited snaps, I think he's a solid natural hands pass catcher. He doesn't mind sticking his nose in there and stamping the dog shit out of you. He's a physical guy, so pass protection is not a problem for him whatsoever. He's a nice piece out there, man. This is a guy I spent quite a bit of time looking at, man. He's nice, man. Just putting it out.
22 years old, runs a 4.4, 5'11", 216. He has nice measurables. I wouldn't mind giving him a shot.
Oh, Dobbsy, we gonna get there, man. You know we are.
Yeah, we're going. All right, let's get another guy. And this ain't no running back. This is a guy that I studied during the offseason.
He ain't running back. He ain't running anything.
This is Omari Thomas. I think he got cut from, I don't remember. Somebody help me out in the chat. Omari Thomas, rookie. I think he might have been a later round pick, or if not a UDFA, one of them. But you're talking about a big guy to supplement your big guys. One of the things you notice on the roster that there's only really two really big guys on the team, and that's Billings, a really, really big guy, and you got Jervon Dexter. Everybody else is kind of, the quick twitchier guys. And so at some point
in New Orleans
cut him. So, this is a guy, man, he's powerful as shit. He's a monster in the run game. The thing about him is his height, and he plays a little high. That was something I noticed about watching him at Tennessee. He plays a little high, but with good coaching, which I think is what we have in the building, you can take a guy like that, stash him on the practice squad, and for a few weeks, start working on that pad level, getting him where he needs to get to. He's got long ass leverage. You can see how long his arms are on the graphic. But you take a guy like this, he's a space eater. He's not a 3-tech. He's not any of that kind of stuff. You can't line him up on the edge. No, this guy is built to play in the middle and to eat up space. Getting off blocks was another little bit of a handicap with him. Just a little bit, but it wasn't that bad. But when he wanted to dominate, he consistently dominated. And so Omari Thomas, man, I think is a nice piece to have. Any thoughts on this big monster?
Well, I just, you think, like, I don't know, man. So they did let go of John Ford, I just don't know if they, man, I just don't know if they need more help in that room right now. I think there's just more. Personally, I just think there's more pressing matters. That's just me.
Well, I wouldn't consider him right now helping the room as on the roster on the 53, but as Nomaz said on the practice squad, sure.
Great practice squad move for sure. I'm with you there.
Yeah, I got nothing against that.
Yeah,
he can help the size of that depth. I can tell you that, man. He's a space eater.
Yeah, we need somebody like, again, we need a John Ford sitting on that practice squad. Worst come to worst, so we can elevate if needed. So if that's what Omari is, do it.
If they decide not to go John Ford, which they might do, keep him on the. If they don't go John Ford, this is a great option. I expect them to actually, if they don't go John Ford, I'd be surprised because he spent so much time. But if they decide to go in another direction, here's one of the really good options out there. Omari Thomas. Can't get no better than that for a space eater.
All right.
Right.
Not that complicated. All right, let's get to another guy. You talking about pass rushers? 2 years ago, which this kid should have come out. This is another Philly cut. Of course, it's on Philly, and they loaded with pass rushers, right? Does that mean that this football player is a bad football player? No. Antoine Powell-Ryland, 6'3", 252 pounds. He was the best pure pass rusher in the NCAA 2 years ago. It's like this previous year, it's like the world knew who he was, and like everybody had a game plan to stop him, but he still did pretty decent numbers, but nowhere near how well he did the year before. And I think they also had a defensive coordinator change or something like that. But he didn't look like the exact same player that you saw 2 years ago. Guaranteed, kids and trips, that guy would have come out last year. He'd have been one of the first 2 or 3 guys, edge rushers, to come off the board last year. I mean, the year before that. That's how good he was. He led the nation in sacks. He's a stud pass rusher. But he's a pass rusher only, and maybe – because he did not support the run as well as he did rush the passer, might be the reason why on a deep-ass team like Philadelphia, you end up on the scrap heap. As good as I'm telling you, go watch Antoine Powell-Ryland and come back and tell me what the fuck you think. Does it match up with what I said? He's a stud pass rusher. Stud pass rusher. He's like watching Von Miller in college.
Well, would you propose putting him on the 53 or practice squad?
If you get a guy like this, if you grab him off a waiver wire, you got to put him on the 53.
Who is he replacing?
More than likely, Damrock.
Okay.
More than likely. I'm telling you, this dude is a stud pass rusher. But
Can
he's
he
a
play special teams too by any chance?
I have no idea. I wish I could tell you that. I have no idea. Maybe they gave him some run at that. He didn't take to it too well or give full effort. I don't know, but I know this. As a pass rusher only, there's not very many players that even got drafted this year. The only one that I would give an edge over him is Mike Green out of Marshall. Now, he was a stud. The year that Mike Green had this year, that was Antoine Powell-Ryland the year before. So how people got all, keyed up on Mike Green, he was that the year before. I'm telling you, dude is a pure pass rusher. It's like looking at Von Miller, kids. I'm not kidding you, bro. Write that name down and go check him out.
Yeah, I'm with Smitty Q on this one, but we'll see. I'm trying to figure out why, if he's what you're saying, that's definitely an overstatement. If he's
wait, hold, slow up. You're gonna tell me that's an overstatement, but you haven't watched it.
No, I'm saying that Von Miller is a perennial Hall of Famer. Is what I'm saying. That's kind of what I mean by an overstatement, right?
It's like watching Von Miller. The traits, what I was trying to get at.
All right, fair enough. It's just it's a very high comparison. In any event, I'm trying to understand why he would have fallen out of favor with Howie Roseman's squad.
Because isn't they deep as hell on that D line?
Exactly. I just told you.
That's a good answer. Yeah, maybe.
So he's a player.
Look, like I said, oh man, I don't. My beef is, like I say, my beef is what it's always going to be with this particular position. I'm real tired of the circus. Like I'm sick of the circus, man. I want them. I want that. I just want there to be one guy who's the guy at both edges. I need that guy to be the guy at the edge, and we're fucking around.
Illy, let me say this to you. He says, Nomad, you're too high on these guys getting cut. There's a reason why the first couple of players that I started with are cut by Philly. When the champs, a team as deep as Philadelphia, cuts players, that's not the same as like when Cleveland or Arizona or some team that's barely trying to get to functionality cuts a football player. When those football players get cut off a team that deep, that doesn't mean they're bad football players, Illy. I'm just pointing that out. That's why I started with some Philadelphia guys.
It's a numbers game.
Yes, pure numbers game. He's a good football player, man. If you need an edge rusher, I'm telling you. All right, let's get to another guy. Dorian Strong is somebody that I think he's cut. I'm not sure. I'm pretty sure he's cut from some team that's got a pretty solid cornerback room. But as you see on the screen, it's excellent man corner, which is what we are. And we are a man corner team now. Elite when the ball is closed, when he can close very, very fast when the ball is in the air. And so one of the elite things you can be as a cornerback is you can in trail technique. What a trail technique is basically you're in the hip pocket of a receiver, right? And you're chasing them down the field. And when the ball is in the air and the ball is thrown on time and on point, how fast and how well do you close on that ball while it's in the air? He was more of one of the more elite corners that I watched on film this offseason at that. When the ball is in the air.
Stuck around, man. I think he got re-signed.
Did he?
I think so.
Well, okay. Then I'm wasting my time because he can.
You might be. And that's why
he can play.
That's what I'm looking at right now. So he's a Buffalo Bill, and he's still on the. He's still.
No, I'm pretty sure they cut him, bro. I'm pretty sure they cut him, and they got a pretty nice thick secondary too. I'm pretty sure they cut him. I think I seen it a day ago. So yeah, he might be one of those options, and I do think we have possibly it might be a move to be made there, and Dennis Allen is going to be looking for man corner specific kind of guys, and he fits the bill. Feisty. I ain't going to say he's the best, most aggressive tackler, but he's willing, and he can play pretty much anything. So Dorian Strong, if they make a move in the cornerback room, it could be one of those guys in the next 48 to 72 hours, man.
And he could be you're talking about actual 53?
If they make a move on him in the waiver wire, they have to claim him and keep him on the 53. He has to replace somebody.
So who is he replacing?
Nashawn Wright, in my opinion. He's a better man corner.
Right on. Cool. An upgrade is an upgrade. I won't be mad at it.
All right. Now here's another one, I think, from Philly. A lot of people got excited about him when they I remember I put the first short out on him, and people started looking at it, and they went to the tape. Holland Pierce, big tackle out of Rutgers, 6'8", 354 pounds. He was only a sophomore, I think. Came out into the draft, and I think he went as a UDFA or maybe a late round pick. I'm not sure. But I think he went to Philly, and again, Philly. But one thing I will say about Holland Pierce is I think he's a little slow of foot, and that's going to show up even more when you get to the NFL level. Kind of like Ozzie Trapilo, why he couldn't really cut it on the left side, not at least this year. He's got same similar foot speed as Ozzie Trapillo, big guy like that, 354 pounds, long ass arms, much longer than Ozzie Trapillo. But you're talking about maybe wanting to keep a guy, stash him around. Let's see what we can do with him. Holland Pierce might be a piece. Any thoughts?
Undrafted free agent.
Was he a UDFA?
I'm asking you. Do you know?
I'm not sure if he was UDFA or he got drafted a little later.
But he's a practice squad candidate, though, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Because I don't see him like between the tackles that we have now. While it's cool to upgrade, it's like coming in as a UDFA. That's I don't know. You got to work a little bit, I would think. And so, as practice squad eligible, cool. On the 53, no.
Yeah, he's
So he was a UDFA. Here's what I am gonna say. Looking at left tackles this season in the draft and scouting them, this kid he showed up actually quite well for me. So I'll say that I was for obvious reasons, I was of the mind that they needed a left tackle, so I would potentially scout left tackles. That being said, I did not scout Ozzie Trapillo. They did. They decided to select him. I did scout Holland Pierce, and again, he's a massive piece of humanity. He looked good, and I think Nomad nailed it just by saying he's not fleet of foot. But he kind of makes up for that lack of speed with length. So I definitely a practice squad body that I would advocate them grabbing and throwing it onto the practice squad and potentially training up for that left tackle role. To me, he's kind of like a slower but maybe larger Theo Benedict. Yeah, that's my Holland Pierce 2 cents. I think he'd be a decent look.
All right, let me take a look at some other guys here, man. We can run through some of these guys. Here's a guy. You want to talk about a comparison, a good solid comparison to Luke Newman. If I can ever find one that was out there, this guy might have been a UDFA too, or a later round pick. But this is Luke Kandra out of Cincinnati, 6'4", 323 pounds. I do think he has center and guard experience. I think on one side of the ball, I can't remember whether it was right side at this point or left side, but I think it was right. Solid, really, really solid. Cincinnati has one of the better, I don't know if it's offensive line coach or the recruiter, something about the way they're recruiting offensive linemen and developing them at Cincinnati. I'm starting to notice it, and Cincinnati's not known for football. But over the last several years, it's like teams like that, teams like what's that team in DC? We're about to get to some of that. Maryland. They are really, really stepping it up and getting really, really good trench players. I think they have trench player coaches. And so Luke Kandra really stood out to me as somebody that I pointed out during the offseason. Went to a team that has a little bit of depth, and they couldn't keep him. He's probably going to end up on their practice squad. But if he doesn't, whoever cut him, and he ends up loose, and we feel like, okay, can we grab a guy and stash a guy on the practice squad? No, he's not going to come on this 53 and replace somebody. Not at all. But we're just talking about possibilities if they want to make some moves. Luke Kandra was a guy that I studied hard. I think he's got some solid tape, as solid. I think his tape is as solid as Luke Newman's. You know what I mean? So just wanted to put that out there. Any thoughts on this big, huge? He's strictly a guard or a center. He's not going to play tackle or any of that.
Yeah, I don't practice squad body, absolutely sure, but I have a feeling that I think we're okay at the guard position right now. I think we're okay. I think we're doing very well. I think we've got Karan that we're trying to bring up, Luke Newman as a very viable and quite skilled backup, and we've got the 2 Pro Bowlers in position right now. So it's just one of the guys, probably and Ryan Bates. I'm discounting Ryan Bates. Just the one position that I don't think they really need additional humanity for.
Yeah, well, not on the 53, but practice squad, definitely. We got Tooney for a couple years, and will Amagaji prosper at left guard? Will he stay healthy? We don't know. We already convinced that Luke Newman is a guard of the future. Where is Canadian Eagle playing? Is he left tackle? So put this kid on the practice squad as, let's say, a Amagaji insurance.
I like that. I like that thought. Actually, I'll tell you the truth. A guy I worked with in Ohio, man, he went to Cincinnati. He was a starting tackle on that team. That's as far as I'm going to go before I start name dropping. But he was raving about the coach in Cincinnati. And who just said that? Jason Kelsey from Dan Brown. Jason Kelsey came out of Cincinnati. And so I'm telling you, that program there, what I'm trying to get at is pedigree. Some guys can come from a program that lacks the coaching and the pedigree that you need that translates well to the NFL and NFL style offenses. I'm starting to see some stuff in Cincinnati I'm more encouraged by some of those football players than I ever have been studying football players, offensive linemen in particular. These are some good freaking football players that are coming out of there, and Luke Kandra is one of them. He's just nasty, man. And how Luke Newman is, he looks like a guard because of his nice lower body, shorter arms, and he's just like a stout little guy. Luke Kandra is built exactly like him. He's just bigger.
I wouldn't mind twin guards being Newman or a Kandra in the future. I mean, the size is impressive. You want that anchor in the offensive line because we see the size of some of these D tackles, 3 1/4 and up. So being able to sustain that kind of power mono a mono will be a good thing. And the nasty disposition, we need more nasty disposition.
Oh, yeah.
We need more nasty disposition on this offensive line. So that's definitely a plus.
All throughout this team trip. That's one of the things that I've been looking to see if I was, you would have put truth serum in me and says, Nomad, hey man, what is our biggest weaknesses? What's our biggest flaw? We don't have enough attitude, guys, on either side of the ball. We're starting to trickle them onto the team right now, and that's good. But I'm talking about from top to bottom, and sometimes that comes with guys that are a little bit undisciplined and get you a couple of flags during the game. I'll take that to dominate and impose my will on you with some of those guys with the nastier disposition. We just don't have enough of them. Ryan Poles is really, really good at drafting good character guys. So in the offseason, you don't see a whole lot of, and I'm knocking on wood now, a whole lot of dudes getting in trouble, smacking female cops and shit like that. You got guys that, keep themselves together. And that's good. But you also might be missing out on some guys that could get a little trouble, but they got to grow up. But we need some nastier guys that like to move big motherfuckers around that don't want to be moved. You need more guys like that. And I think that's probably our biggest weakness since Ryan Poles has been
here. Who you got up next?
All right. Tommy Akapasote, 6'5", 315 pounds, senior. He played nose guard and 3 tech at Maryland. Phenomenal play strength and plays and position versatile. I made sure I put that on that. This is old stuff. This is the stuff that I was doing in the draft period. Extremely good against the run. The guy, I think he's got a great skill set that matches with NFL football. He can play inside. He can play 3 tech. He's got a great skill set and he's active. Very, very athletic, very agile. Tommy Akapasote is, if you looking at that interior tackle room and you don't feel like you got what you need totally. You like what you have on your 53, but you want to stash a guy that can bring something else to the table a little later on, just in case things don't go right. This is a good guy to stash, man. I'm not saying he's going to get on the 53 and take somebody's role. Right now, you stash a guy and you start working with him and let him gradually earn his role on the team. He's just a good player, man. I just had to bring him up. Any thoughts on this big dude?
Do you think he could be groomed on the practice squad as a dollar bill replacement next year?
No, because Andrew, you know what? If they wanted to, depends on what kind of D tackle they want him to be. If they want him to be Andrew Billings, he's got a lot more eating to do. I'm just saying right there.
Right. Not apples to apples, or in this case, donuts to donuts.
Andrew Billings is like 5'11". You know what I mean? So this dude won't have a problem. He'll have a lot easier time putting on some weight than, I think if you watched him on tape, please write down these names, No Maniacs, Super No Maniacs. Go look at them on tape. See if what I'm saying matches up. Just go look at the tape. I think he's a nice piece to have. He's one. I don't know what Kids is doing. He just left a private chat. Here's a running back, Corey Kiner. I talked about him the other night on the show. Out of where? Cincinnati. Up and coming program. 5'8", 212-pound bowling ball. Don't remember exactly who and where he got cut from. But I know this. He would be an upgrade in this running back room right now. Right now. I'm not saying he's got a blazing speed. He's going to run 70, 80-yard touchdowns. No. But getting the chains moving, having some competency in the running back room on all levels, whether he's a practice squad guy or you grab him to move him and put him on the 53, there's reason to say that, he could, if somebody in that building said, we kept Roschon Johnson out of the fray because maybe we thinking about moving on from him and grabbing somebody else, this would be one of the running backs that you can put in that room and you can get straight production out of. And so I wouldn't see a big, huge difference between what Roschon Johnson showed me on tape at Texas. Not a big difference between him and Corey Kiner in Cincinnati on tape. Not a big difference. In fact, I'd say Corey Kiner is a harder runner than Roschon Johnson. And Roschon Johnson is a pretty hard runner.
Yeah, that would the room needs addressing, and if a 5'8", even shorter than the previous running back we were talking about, but about the same weight, and he could pass pro, and he can offer something in the run game, and he can catch. We need more running backs. If this is a candidate and I identify him, I'm all with it.
This one doesn't really particularly impress me. I'm a little confused. So this guy was I think he's hurt.
Oh, he's hurt? Well,
he was in San Fran. He got a high ankle sprain.
This is exactly what I'm talking about.
And we was talking about him the other night, kid. That's why you remember him. He got a high ankle sprain, but he was probably the stud of their running back room in preseason this year in San Francisco.
Okay.
He was only reason they got a deep enough running back room, and he got injured at the very end of preseason. And either you keep him, put him on IR, and you have no way to use him, or you don't, and you can move on and get somebody else that's healthy. They're at that point on their roster. It's a strong fucking roster. And so that's one of those teams that can afford to let a quality running back go.
And they traded for Brian Robinson.
Exactly what I was about to line up with, right? So that's what I was wondering. They went out and they got Brian Robinson, and they let this young man go. I was wondering what the reality was there, because I think everybody knows it don't really matter who you are or with respect to the running game. With the offensive line of San Francisco, you can put your grandma back there. She'll run that rock. You know what I mean? It don't matter who back there, they're gonna run the ball. So I know run it well. So if they drafted him or if he was a UDFA and they brought him to the squad, odds are he'll do well in that position. So I'm really not surprised to see that he's injured right now, and being injured might make it a little bit hard for us to consider bringing him to Chicago.
All right. I got a couple more players to get to. One, Sebastian Castro. I really don't think, and there's a lot of people that really, really like Sebastian Castro when they went and looked at him on tape. We debuted him over here on the Nomad Network.
No, we did.
Yeah, and we talked about him a lot, and he's a very physical guy, 5'11", 202 pounds out of Iowa. You know, people that like the Big Ten in this area of the country, they know who Sebastian Castro is. He plays like a linebacker, violent hitter with really, really good football IQ. Problem with Sebastian Castro, he got cut from Pittsburgh, I believe. Problem with Sebastian Castro is you don't know that he has the game speed or the football speed to match up with a running back, a fast running back like DeAndre Swift. You put DeAndre Swift on him, he gets matched up with DeAndre Swift. DeAndre Swift's going to probably run by him. I'm not going to say he's just going to leave him, but he can't match foot speed with DeAndre Swift. Strong safeties tend to get matched up on tight ends and running backs on a regular basis, right? And so that's the only problem that I see with Sebastian Castro. Football IQ makes up for a lot. I mean, a lot. Just being situationally aware, having the right alignment on defensive plays, defensive reps, and just being violent. You know what I mean? That makes up for a whole lot. But at the end of the day, when they're calling a blitz and you got to tack up man-to-man with the running back that's swinging out of the backfield and the quarterback eyeing him because he knows you're on him and you can't run with him, that's going to show up at some point in time. And so I do like Sebastian Castro, but I do think he has some deficiencies. And I think he's more suited for a zone defense than a man-heavy defense. I think his traits will show up better, but who knows, man? You know, at that size, man, maybe somebody might think about trying to give him some linebacker reps because he's that damn physical, man.
You're muted, kids.
Oh, thank you for that. Yeah, I don't know. I liked what I saw when we looked at him. I definitely did, but I think you nailed it. He's probably more of a linebacker than he is a safety in this league. And I'm not so sure we need another linebacker on this particular team. I do expect somebody to scoop this guy up. I'm just not so sure he's really a safety in the NFL. That's all.
And considering the foot speed aspect of it,
yeah,
and what Poles and Johnson and Dennis Allen have been adding to this team, I just don't think he would fit physically. You know, being able to hold up in a Dennis Allen defense when, you know, they're blitzing in front of him. Now he has to cover somebody. And the speed is just too great in the league to be slow out there in man coverage.
You're right, man. That unfortunately, as much as I like him, you'd have to have a special plan for Sebastian Castro. I don't think he fits in this defense at strong safety whatsoever, but he was just a name that I know people like this guy, man, so I had to bring it up. Who knows, man? Who knows? But let's get to the next football player. Now, this guy I'm very high on. This is Jasheen Davis out of Wake Forest, 6'3", 270 pounds. Fits the bill perfectly, does he not? Height and weight, guys. Fits the bill perfectly. And he's a good, solid pass rusher. One thing about him that I noticed on film, the more I watched him, and you start watching, the best thing you can do when you start watching film for all the people that aspire to do this kind of stuff and want to start with watching tape and, wanting to scout and do that kind of stuff, it's fun to do. But when you're watching certain, basically the best thing I can tell you is when you want to see what somebody's ability can be later on, not what they are right now, is watch how much power they wield from the lower body, from the waist down, how powerful he is, especially at this position. Because in a defense like this, when he have his fingers in the dirt, and I think he got cut from a 3-4 base team. And so if you know what you need to know about 3-4 base edge rushers / linebacker, they have to drop in coverage often. And so this guy doesn't fit the skill set to be dropping into space. He's a pure put your fingers in the dirt, big 270-pound that is going to get bigger edge rusher that gets after the quarterback and supports your run game. That's what he is. He fits a 4-3 base defense, which we run. And I bet you all my money that Dennis Allen had this guy on his radar. They just didn't go edge rusher for whatever reason. Jasheem Davis is powerful and as quick as he is powerful getting off the ball. Now, would I tell you he was a pass rush specialist? No, but he got to the quarterback often. And does that translate to the NFL? Don't know. I didn't see him in a whole bunch of preseason games, but he was one of the names on the list that I felt like we should stop for a second and, all right, I bet you all my money Dennis Allen would love this guy. All my money.
Well, I think you should keep your money. I'm just saying.
Smart motherfucker. All right, man. Any other thoughts? Football thoughts? You smart aleck fucker.
I'm just saying that. That's money's important. You got you got meals to buy and stuff. You got stuff to do.
Like, wow.
This guy's he's okay. I don't. If we're again this position, I'm looking for something very specific, man, and I don't think what we're looking for is going to be found on the waiver wire or on in the bargain basement category of the store. That's just me. I think we need to either develop what we have into something, fingers crossed, or you go and you put good money into this position, because God knows we've cycled through over the last 4 years. We've cycled through so much humanity at the edge rush position at the defensive end. I don't know.
Well, the thing is, you were against Jonathan Ford as well last season when the season went to shit.
The Packer. That's because
it was like, well, we don't need this guy. We need this XYZ. Then Ford comes in and say, hey, we need a big guy like that. Nice. Now he hasn't panned out. Now he's no longer in the team. But if Mr. Davis here, Jasheem, can catch the eye of defensive line coach Garrett or Dennis Allen and to say, hey, we could mold this guy in a little something. Cool. Let this offensive staff
no, you
have
need to bring
their
that
opportunity to develop somebody.
Bring that back for me, please. No, man.
You pull it
Let
up.
this offensive staff have the opportunity to, develop these kids into what they want for their team.
Yeah, shit.
Sorry, I'm just.
Man, you trying to deflect because you don't know what the fuck you're talking about. But let me.
No, it's because what I'm looking at was potentially the bearded lady, and I wanted to make sure.
Yeah, that's cute, man. What the proper thing to do, kids, when you don't know, you just having me pull up guys that I've been checking out, and you don't know anything about. What the proper thing to do is, you know what, man. You say so. That might be a good piece. I like his build. He's got the right size. I like that. Instead,
I'm not deflecting anything. It's got nothing to do with his build or his size or anything like that. I'm at a point with this particular position where I'd like the problem to be fixed.
What's the problem?
I'm fucking sick.
What's the problem, kids? Tell me the
problem. We don't have a viable pass rusher.
What's a viable pass rusher?
Somebody who gets to the quarterback and creates pressure.
Okay, I just showed you Antoine Powell-Riley. What do you think of him?
I think that he's a developmental talent that we're going to have to work into to become
that you haven't seen on
a viable pass rusher.
That you haven't seen play.
That's right, yeah. And he hasn't played in the NFL to prove that. So
those are specifics you should point out while you're talking.
but there are also specifics that you should also add into your commentary. If he's proven it in the NFL, that's a different story. He's a proven commodity. We should go get that guy immediately. If we're talking about a projection, we're talking about a projection. I'm sick of projecting at this position. And this is not your fault.
You want a pure pass rusher.
I want to fix to the problem at the edge.
Okay.
I'm sick of talking about this now. Just give me a second. Let me soliloquy and I'll shut up. I'm sick of talking about the edge. Sick of it. It's fucking 4 years going now. Right? It's like it's a very extended conversation we've been having about this one position on the football team. They've thrown all kinds of different things at it. They brought in Jadeveon Clowney, I think. God, I don't even remember who's been here. You know what I mean? Like, there's been guys in and out. It hasn't worked. We've got Montez Sweat on one side, and for a minute there, I think we were all happy with the output. But I'm not so sure everybody's happy with the output anymore. I'm a little bit worried about the output as we move forward into this season. I'm just saying. I'm sick of talking about the edge rush position. I personally just want it to be fixed, and fingers crossed. Like, I saw some amazing shit this preseason. I saw Austin Booker step into the role, and I was hyped. To the right of him, I saw my guy Dom Robinson that I've been shitting on for 2 or 3 years start to step into the role too. Beautiful things. I need that to actually continue and actually be developed and be the thing at this position.
Let me ask you a real good question.
We got a problem there.
This is an important question. When's the last time? How many pass rushers in the last? I can probably count on 5 to 7 fingers in the last 5 to 7 years. How many pass rushers came into the league and came right in and were gangbusters? When you agree with that, that's like only a handful of them. That doesn't happen right away with most of the time, right? It's kind of an anomaly. Most of the time that develops, doesn't it?
That goes for every position. Under normal pretenses, we got to develop a guy, and I'm with that. And we're trying to do that with Dom Rob and Hardy and Austin Booker right now.
So do you just stop there, or do you not keep going and say, well, if just say hypothetically Davis, let's bring him in, and it's like, oh shit, he's better than Dom Rob. I mean, so now you move it up, or he's better than whoever, or he's not. But you just can't say, well, we got to focus on Hardy and Booker and Dom Rob and make them work. It's like, no, you keep bringing motherfuckers in until you find somebody who they can develop who can be that guy.
Well, but we've been doing that, Trip.
Like, and have we been
those guys or with those guys? If it doesn't work out with those guys, we're gonna go back to the draft and hopefully eventually actually just get a guy.
Yeah, but the draft is next year. We're talking about now on the practice squad to develop somebody.
Yeah, but that doesn't. If we're developing somebody right now, we want them to play and produce. That's part of the development.
That's not what develop means. I'm talking about develop as put them on a practice squad
down the road,
in the weight room. Let them get that professional chef cooking. Let them learn a bit and then see what he has. That's development I'm talking about, as opposed to putting them on the field, throwing them in the fire and see what he got, making them develop. I'm talking about, practice squad development. That's what the practice squad is for, to develop guys into players. And so,
we'll see.
Not saying, well, we got these guys. I don't want this guy. I don't want this guy. Well, you need these guys because somebody's going to turn into a player, and you got to keep cycling through them to find them.
Yeah.
Daniel Hardy being a good example of that.
Like I say, I'm pleased with the development thus far with those 3 guys. I'm okay with it. It's the question mark still remains, though. Right? Like the question is still there. Those edge rushers is a question mark. It needs to be addressed. If either one of those 3 guys that we have been developing steps in and assumes that position, that role, I'm with it. More power to you. keep developing talent on the back end. Hopefully they will also rise to the occasion. I'm not so sure about that development case scenario. I have a strange feeling we will be in the draft in 2026 selecting an edge rusher with our top 2 picks. I thought we should have done that this past season and the season before that, and maybe even the season before that one too.
Kids, what you're looking for is somebody that basically you're looking for a ready-made dominant pass rusher. And
if you can't,
those
if
usually
you can't develop it, buy like.
Well, if you want that, those usually like Micah Parsons is a one-off. That guy was that guy in college, and he became that guy in NFL right away. It's a one-off. Like you're looking for that. They're hard. That is like a unicorn in a forest full of down trees, and you can't travel through it.
I don't know about that.
Very, very hard to find.
I don't know how hard that is though.
It's
like
very hard to find.
And like Micah Parsons might be a little bit of an anomaly, but there are viable pass rushers that have been drafted in the NFL over the course of the last few years. Like there are. Even Ashton Gelati was just picked up this past draft.
Aiden Hutchinson might be the most recent guy I can think of.
Look, I'm talking about Ashton Gelati. This season, not extremely high drafted. He put the work on Braxton Jones. He put the work on Theo Bennett. It made them both look ugly this past Friday. They're a fresh new guy. Fresh. I used probably maybe 3rd rounder, maybe 4th. You know what I'm saying? There's guys out there that we could select and bring onto this team, or could have selected and brought onto this team. There was a stark decision not to. And we're still talking about this fucking role. That's my problem. That's where I'm at.
All right.
And I hope these guys we have on the team are ready for this role. And I believe in a couple of them now. Like I do. I believe in Austin Booker. I'm really pleased with what I've seen from Dan Hardy, just as much as I'm pleased with Dom Robinson. But we got about a week to go. We need to see it on the field.
All right. I'm just going to go here and let y'all do a little talking. I've done enough talking about this football player. He got cut in what I think is the deepest running back room in the NFL right now, on par with, think about another deep running back room. I think
is it Seattle?
Yeah, I think New England's a pretty deep running back room too. They emphasize running the ball as much too. But I'll stop right there and I'll pick up the pieces after this. What do you guys think of grabbing Damian Martinez off the waiver wire?
I don't love this guy anywhere near as much as you do. But here's what I'm gonna say, and it's clear and obvious. This guy's a huge upgrade to Roschon Johnson. No two ways about that. He can do everything Roschon can do, and then a couple more things on top of that. Really good field vision. To me, that's kind of what they're looking for, and he's right there, ready and available at a relatively low price point. So I have no problems with this maneuver at all. We need a thumper that can thump a little bit better with a little bit less. That's a little bit less injury prone and has a little bit more field vision. You know, a little bit more in between the tackles. You're talking about Damian Martinez. So I'm right there with it.
Yeah, and he shook out. You know, he got beat up by those guys in Seattle, and they have a very talented running back room.
Yeah.
So it's like, okay, the rookie didn't, make the squad off in the 53, but guess what? Our running back room isn't as talented. So if Mr. Martinez here, who Nomad has been talking about all fucking offseason as one of his favorite running back prospects, is now available, it's like, let's not be like kids. Let's give Nomad some price and be like, all right, Ryan Poles, Nomad's been pounding the table for Mr. Martinez. Go ahead and bring him in. And especially if we need the help. And the guy and Roshan Johnson, I hate to pick on the kid, but what the fuck?
Well,
So
I don't think you're picking on them. They feel for the most part the exact same. Like these, like for like, they're very similar backs. Just this guy's just a little bit more versatile. He just is, and maybe that's a slight to Roshan, but in my opinion, it's a fact.
And I'm loving the 6 foot 232. Man, 232 running back coming downhill. Safeties ain't gonna want no parts of that.
Plays with every single ounce of it too.
Cornerbacks ain't gonna want no parts of that. And linebackers nowadays are like, oh shit, that hurt.
Like the stuff.
So if he can run punishing and he has that versatility, can he pass block?
Oh yeah. Oh hell yeah.
Hey, let's go.
He'll stamp the dog shit out of somebody.
The
right, no man.
Folks liked about Hankins, the stuff that folks liked about Hankins, they're gonna love about Damian Martinez for sure.
One thing I can tell you about that running back room in Seattle, it is going to be ferocious. I'm just telling you right now. I don't know if they're on the schedule, but I wouldn't want to see them. And they have a nice offensive line too. And they emphasize with that offensive coordinator, they really emphasize pounding that football. And they put it on display. When I tell you they put it on display in the preseason, they fucking ran over, I think it was Kansas City. Made them probably rethink their religion. They ran them the fuck over. And their top 3 running backs, the lowest one, I'll start with him, a guy named George Holani. He's a Hawaiian guy or a Polynesian guy, but I'm telling you, he came into this camp on a mission. It's like, ain't nobody taking my spot. And I think they're going to run with 3 running backs, maybe 1 on the practice squad or 2. But Damian Martinez, they did him a favor and said that, there's no way we're going to be able to get you in this rotation. So we're going to do the best thing we can do for you and let you hit the wire and get on a team that really can use you. Because in this running back room, we won't be able to. That's how good the running back room is. You got Kenny, I forget his last name, Kenny something, the starting running back, Kenneth Walker. Yeah, you got Kenneth Walker, and then you got Zach Charbonnet behind them, 2 starting caliber running backs. And then you got George Holani pulling up the rear. What are you going to do with Damian Martinez, who is quite, in my opinion, if you apply him with the right system and the right offensive line in front of him, he's going to be a pounder in this league. This is like he's got a skill set that he can tote the right. He can carry your offense, and he gets stronger as the game goes on. He's just as physical as they come, never dies on the first tackle. This guy is Chicago, man. We like running backs. We like physical running backs. We like physical defenses. This guy is Chicago. I wish like hell I was inside House Hall right now. I'd be like, fool, if you don't break necks to get to this dude. This is the perfect compliment to DeAndre Swift. The perfect compliment to him. 232 at 6 foot? You kidding me? Go look at the tape. That's all I would say to anybody doubting that. Go look at the motherfucking tape, and you come back and tell me I'm wrong. That's all I got to say about this. Any other thoughts on Damian?
No, I mean that's how you touted him in the first place. Was really, when we first started talking about this particular back, you're like, Kedzi, are you sold on Roshan Johnson? And I said, nope, I'm not. Do we need an upgrade to Roshan Johnson? Because if we do, I got the running back for you, and here he is. So here we are, without that general upgrade in place. And yeah, I liked Wheeler. Yeah, I liked Hankins and what they brought to the table. I think that this particular gentleman is a true upgrade to what we have in our number 2 RB spot. So definitely worth a look.
All right. I won't go on and on about Damian no further. But do you guys feel like we got enough beef on the defensive line? Do you still feel like we need to keep a guy on the practice squad that's got a little more girth to him? Because if you do, we got this guy out there.
Oh, that's the 440.
Yeah.
He's a big boy. Yeah, we don't need him.
Oh yeah,
Hey,
no.
You know what? This dude's a football player. Now, I'm not gonna sit here and tell you that. Okay, we
About
need
all
to
that.
grab this guy. You know, I'm gonna tell you something. This is a little more deep, man. I worry about this guy. Now, when I see him,
A heart attack.
like, man, dude, I see him. I see a guy. This if you're this big now, and you're playing football, this is probably the most challenging as far as your cardiovascular, as far as your everything, your physical goals. There's really no other game in the world that will challenge you like this game will. You talking about 60 minutes of running, explosion, and if he looks like this after an NFL training camp, like God forbid what happens to this guy when he can't play football. If teams decided they don't want a guy this big on the team, God forbid what happens to him. I worry about his well-being, more than I do about him as a football player. Like
Well,
you can't be walking around like this. Bro.
Well, Crimson's saying that's not beef, that's pork.
I'm that's funny, man, but I'm serious, man. I think this guy, he's a health issue waiting to happen if he doesn't get it together, man. He got
Man, can you imagine him getting like a sprained ankle or something where he can't run for like a week or two?
They need to replace his ankle, man. They're like if he rolls his ankle, they got to have surgery to get that ankle out of there and get some kind of manufactured. Yeah.
Oh, that Buccaneers. Is that where he was? Because I remember this dude. Because somebody mentioned in the chat that it's like, and look at this poor sad sack who can't even practice with his team, and he was just kind of on the sidelines leaning on the blocking dummies.
Well, this is why I'm surprised we're talking about him. Period, but they wouldn't let him practice. They wouldn't even let him. They're like, bro, you need to cut some of that. You need to go cut some of that. And unfortunately, he just couldn't get it done. And here he is cut.
Nah, we good. Next,
yeah, you had to keep trailers of the world kids and trips, guys like 350 somewhere.
I'm not saying there's anything wrong. I'm a big lad, bro. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with a big boy.
He's like,
I'm just saying he's just a little bit too big to the point that it could be a problem for him, let alone the team.
And so he looks like he's a good I don't know what they call it now, but want to be a wrestler or something.
It's
one of those WWFs or whatever the hell.
Well, bro, like WWF ain't like it used to be, bro. I've been watching a little bit lately. You need to move. Like even like I'm gonna compare him to Mark Henry. Mark Henry would pick this guy up and throw him at 400 plus pounds and wipe his hands with it. You know what I mean? Wash his hands at the end of the day. Like that's how strong this guy is.
Everybody throwing this motherfucker nowhere but God.
Bro, Mark Henry will bend Mark Henry picking
that fucker up.
Bro, we're talking the strongest man, one of the strongest men in the world, bro.
He ain't picking
one of the strongest men. This guy will bend I was just watching a little clip and somebody came over to him and was like, "Hey, you all right?" He was all mad, and he looked up. He's like, "Man, I'm trying to bend this quarter. I'm trying to tear this quarter in half with my bare hands, and I can just all I can do is bend it." And the guy looked at him. He's like, "Are you for real?" And he walked off like, I feel like a complete wuss because like this guy is there, and he showed him the quarter, and the quarter's all bent up. Like Mark Henry's strong like you wouldn't believe.
But you want to talk about strong? Look at my man's knees. Now he got 200 pounds on me, and my knees are like, yeah, fuck you. So what do you think this dude's knees are going to do?
It's just because he's youthful, man. Like them knees will be okay for maybe a year or two, but at some point it gonna kick in. You know what I mean? Like at some point, it's gonna be them knees gonna be like, bro, we can't be,
Yeah, nah, we good. Our cartilage, that cartilage is gone.
Yeah,
I feel for this dude, man, because without football, I don't know a man that big with obviously the eating habits that he has. I don't know that you can maintain a healthy life for long. Because football is going to give you a certain amount of discipline that you're going to have to adhere to, or else because that's what football is. It's going to make you get your ass right. You can't keep running around like this, man. You cannot. So, sir, I hope that you take to heart if you got cut. In fact, if I was him, and I know it's easy for me to say because I'm on the outside looking in, but if I was him, I'd sit out a year and just work on trimming 100 pounds off of me and just worry about that. And then go back to some NFL camp and try to get on some team. I know that's not going to feed you. I know that's not going to put money in your bank account, but it's going to save your life in the long run.
Well, he probably just got a little bit of money, right? Like a little bit doing whatever it is that he was doing. But here's the one area where that worries me.
There's Burger King commercials. He can do those in the meantime.
Ain't nobody trying to look like that. You know what I mean? Like nobody wants to watch that.
Well, he could literally be the new
sub. Put on 400 pounds if I eat at the Burger King. Sweet, I'm gonna go to the Burger King.
Put him in a like Jimmy John's or Subway, be their spokesman, and do like a live, commercials. Is like we're starting out at 400 and whatever the fuck. How many
Darren at Subway is what you're
right? And now this is all I've been eating, and I've lost hundreds of pounds. There's his money right there.
Well, I'm just worried about one thing, and my thoughts is likely football was the area where he was getting his exercise, where he was, where he was sweating, where he was pulling off whatever little weight he could pull off. My worry is that now that he's been cut, he may not have that outlet from an exercise perspective. He may not have that motivation to go out and be active. So I can't remember this gentleman's name, but prayers up, man. Hopefully everything works out and you're able to be focused on what you need to do to get to where you need to get to. And I think the door is wide open for you. I think folks definitely saw your prowess, your talent on a football field. It's just a matter of squaring away a little bit of your health, right? Shout outs.
Hey, I know one thing. If that motherfucker haul off and slap some average person, they going to the upper room. All that weight behind that. Good Lord.
Yeah. Maybe that's what he has in his future. Maybe he's one of them slap boxing champions.
Right. That's a thing now.
There you go.
Look how thick his hand. Look how thick that fucking hand is. He gonna kill somebody.
Damn.
All right, who we got next?
That's it.
Wait, no, there's one I want to ask you about though, Nomad, that you didn't bring up. I sent you a message earlier, you and kids. Is the running back from Denver?
You talking
that
about
was there with,
well, let me run through a couple of names that I do have extra that are out there too. Audric Estime being one running back out of Denver.
Him.
There's also Cam Akers who got cut. Let me see.
There's also Khalil Herbert who got cut.
Khalil Herbert. You got Kenyon Green, who was a high draft pick out of, I believe, Georgia. I think Philly had to cut him. Again, a great team having to cut a good player. You got Anthony Walker, a really good linebacker, got cut. Luke Kandron, let me see. Let me make sure I ain't forgetting nobody. Let me see. Eli Ricks, a corner. Again, Philly. I focused on Philly because how good that team is. Eli Ricks, you got a problem with how Nashawn Wright performed, and you want to upgrade to him. He's feisty. He's a man corner by nature. He's got foot speed. And he's long like Nashawn Wright, not as tall, but he's 6'2", 6'3", somewhere in that neighborhood. Really, really long arms. Same kind of football player. Eli Ricks is out there. Let me make sure. DeMarvion Leal, an edge rusher out of Pittsburgh, high draft pick. They cut him because I think they messed around with him a little too long, tried to turn him into a D tackle because he has a huge lower body, but he's an edge rusher. He's out there. Just go check him out. There's a DN out there by the name of Patrick Johnson, linebacker Chance Campbell, offensive tackle La'el Collins. He got hurt a few years ago when he was in Cincinnati, a couple years ago when he was in Cincinnati and needed a year to repair. He came back and played a season for the Cowboys. He was a starting tackle, I think a right tackle on that team, pretty much played the whole season. he got cut. So if you got tackle issues you want to address, that's out there. And that's it. What else
Well,
you got?
so the question is, so the 53-man roster as it stands right now, we all agree that the running back room is a thing and that there like Martinez or other players available there. But we've also identified what possible upgrades to Nashawn Wright, Dom Rob. So, those are two possible positions that one of the aforementioned players that Nomad brought up could be brought in, and those two guys could be out. So the bottom end of this roster looks like some of these guys that we spoke about here tonight could be upgrades to what we already have. So, yeah, that's why the war room at Hallis Hall is fully staffed all night tonight, because what are the coaches in there doing? Having some Sammys, some salad, and ripping film on guys that are available and comparing them to the guys that are kind of sleeping a little easier tonight because they're still on the roster. But tomorrow night could be totally different.
So that's why they call it the initial 53, right, Trips?
Indeed.
We got options out there, and they're right. And I know if I was in that building, I wouldn't be getting no sleep either, because opportunity presents itself right now.
And there was Ryan Poles also said that a few years ago it was more exciting because he was like looking for like 5 or 6 of these guys, whereas now the roster is that much more talented. We're looking maybe 2, 3.
Yeah. There's Dennis Allen in that room. There's Ben Johnson in that building. Both of those guys, they got the scouts, they got the position coaches. And so if Ryan Post goes in there with thinking all I'm gonna do is 2 or 3 moves, they can convince him to that 6 by the time the end of the night happens, and they can pursue more guys than he thinks. You know what I mean? So it's all fluid. It's all fluid because there's still moves being made right now. While we're on the air, there's moves being made now.
Mm-hmm. Andre Bryant had a question or a comment. Would you consider Cole Strange, former first-round pick with 29 career starts at guard position, is out there? Would you consider him an upgrade over anybody we have currently on the O-line?
Andre, I can't lie to you and tell you I remember a whole lot about Cole Strange. I remember studying him, but I study so many guys. It's like once that cycle is over, I know Cole Strange has been out there a year or two. I think he's been in the league a year or two, but he was a highly touted guy in that scouting.
Where did he go? New England?
New England.
Yeah, I remember this was one of Bill Belichick's like last picks, and he jumped up to get him too, because he had center prowess as well. I remember Cole Strange. I think this might be more of a casual. Oh, okay. I'm looking at him. So he was hurt. He was hurt for a season. That's probably the biggest chunk of all this. I bet you he was replaced the following season and maybe didn't get. Let me just take a look at snaps here for him.
I just
a whole new staff comes in.
I just don't remember a lot about him.
I remember him being I do. I remember him being a guard / center prospect. I remember him being good. I remember us all kind of saying he'd be a solid center / guard prospect for us to draft. And I also remember Bill Belichick trading up into, I believe, the first round to grab him. And everybody was like, oh, wow, you went up and got a center early. That's crazy. But he would have been the top center guard in, I believe, the 2022 draft. That being the case, I think this is so he didn't play. He played 3 games in 2024 and 10 games in 2023. So this is more of an injury situation than anything else. And now you got a new regime in knee injury, both seasons. So weeks 1 to 14, weeks 16 to 18. So he probably had full-on knee surgery. That's just me assuming now. But and then you turn around and you look at a whole regime change in New England. So maybe, I don't like
But
So
if healthy, do you think he's an upgrade over anybody we have now at guard or
wow.
center?
So here's the question of the day.
What
I
up,
think
FFG?
I think he's a good line of sight with respect to Ricky Stromberg, but I really hope we secure Ricky Stromberg on this practice squad. And if we do, if he clears waivers, I hope we continue to develop him as a talent. I'm not so sure I would go do the Cole Strange thing due to this
Knee thing.
well, how long it you know what I mean? Like Stromberg was hurt too, and he had a very similar trajectory, and now he seems to be picking up and doing well. This guy's been on that injury trajectory for almost 2 solid years. It's a pretty long tenure for him. So if we
Well, there you
don't
go, Andre.
if we don't get Stromberg back on the practice squad, I think we should definitely scoop up Cole Strange and try to do the same thing.
One of the downsides of doing this kind of podcast and this kind of content requires a certain amount of really, really hard work. And I'm talking about film work and all that kind of stuff. And to everybody else, it probably seems like a cycle of a season moves kind of slow. But for me, doing all that research on these players, seems like tomorrow I'm going to be having to look at a whole another round of NCAA football players and kind of having to flush the players that I just did the year before and the year before that. That's difficult, man. It's very, very difficult because when you like him Andre bringing up Cole Strange, I know him. I know I've seen the film, but that's one of the downsides to it. You can watch too much film and it turns into overkill and the recall sometimes ain't there. It must have been something about Cole Strange that didn't really stick out to me and sit with me. Because go ahead.
I don't know. I don't know about that. I think it was just it's been 2 solid years since you would have looked at him.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, especially at the offensive line, you've been looking at so many offensive linemen over the course of these last couple of years. What is there to remember? But I definitely remember Cole Strange. I remember us scouting him. I remember him being, I remember him being a guy that Bill Belichick looked at, loved, and traded back up to draft. So I think the talent is there. I think Bill Belichick saw that early. I believe the talent is there because I think we had identified it at the time too. My thoughts now is, can he recover from that injury and get back into form? Because if he could, I think he's somebody that any team should potentially throw on their practice squad and develop up.
All I know is I don't want to be. No, even though Corey Kiner has got a high ankle sprain, I know he'll be ready in a few weeks, 3 to 4 weeks.
Somebody, I think I saw that he passed waivers and they put him on IR in San Fran.
Yeah, he's back on IR in San Francisco. Yeah.
Crimson said, "No, man, how could you not remember in detail the college tape of a player that got drafted by another team 3 years ago?"
Exactly, right? Exactly. So I ain't gonna hold it. I'm not gonna hold that one against you. But I do remember him, and I remember him being very good.
Sometimes the recall, it's like certain players, there was something about Cole Strange that didn't set with me. And when they sat with me, I'm gonna have that recall for you. But him, there was something about him that really, I don't know. Maybe it wasn't.
Well, he's more of a meh.
Yeah, maybe. But
I think him and Stromberg was the same draft, man.
Yeah, they were.
Yeah,
they were. They were. I remember that draft, man. It was I can tell you a whole lot of stuff about that draft and where we were and all that kind of shit. But you know what? They got us tomorrow. Kids, they got us tomorrow, and they got Chef Trips tomorrow at 8 p.m. Central, man. So I would like to not use up too much time here because I want to cut this show up into some shorts.
But now, the fun thing?
What's that?
Tomorrow, we get to talk about a whole new topics as who has the Bears signed to their practice squad and/or roster.
Right.
Yeah.
Because that happens at noon, right? Tomorrow.
Noon. Don't get me to
Anytime.
lie to you.
It
It might be noon. It might be 3. I think it's more like noon trips.
Yeah. I think it's opens up at noon. Because 3 was the today. That was that time today. Tomorrow it's at noon that the waivers are available.
Before we shut this down, I just want to say one thing, and that is I hope that they go get Khalil Herbert. And we haven't talked about this at all. That's what I hope.
What?
Yeah.
Mr. Shit on Khalil Herbert says go get Khalil Herbert.
At what point did I ever shit on Khalil
Shit
Herbert?
on him tonight.
Huh?
You shit on Khalil Herbert tonight.
What did I say?
We didn't talk about him tonight, did we?
Yeah, I think you
And
mentioned.
what did I say about Khalil Herbert?
I said something about Khalil Herbert. Maybe because I said it.
Kid said he got released, but we didn't talk about him.
I said something about Khalil Herbert, and Kids was over there shaking his head and ready to shit. And I think he did shit on him because I was saying it.
No, you said that Roshan Johnson was better than Khalil. What you said was Khalil Herbert. What you said was Roshan Johnson should be looked at as having the same problems running behind the offensive line as Khalil Herbert. Yeah. And I said you went too far because Khalil Herbert didn't have no problems running behind this shitty offensive line. He made it work. That's what I was saying.
Okay.
When we left it alone, I at no point have I ever, and put this out there straight up and down. At no point have I ever shat on Khalil Herbert. He is not Velus Jones. Okay. He can hold the football.
That might be actually true. I remember. Okay. You might be right.
Now here's a question because Khalil Herbert was here before. Now, granted, it's a whole new coaching regime, but Ryan Poles is still here. Now there are only 32 teams. So if the team wants to bring you in, obviously you'll be like, yeah, cool. But do you think there's any beef with Herbert and the Bears?
Yes,
I think there's some.
Yes, like don't get it twisted.
But is the beef with Poles or was it with like Flusen?
Trips? What I think is if Khalil Herbert is smart, he's a willing participant in any kind of negotiation and any sit down to alleviate that because you're a pro and you can't hold on to that kind of shit.
I hope everything you just said is facts, bro. You know what I mean? I hope that's how this thing goes down. But I think the devil in Khalil Herbert is one that, despite offensive line woes, will run the rock, will catch the rock, will get it done in space. There's really nothing that I can say here. That's okay. Here's the one thing I can say that's slightly negative about Khalil. I had to find it, and that is he's not the greatest pass protection back, right? Like that's where he falters, and that's where Roshan shines. So what wound up happening is they put Roshan around. They gave him a lot of shine in pass protection case scenarios. That's how he got on the field, which is a great way to get on the field. Unfortunately, he ain't it. I think you bring Khalil Herbert back here, and he can really help retrofit this line. He has no problems going north and south if he has to. Ain't a power back, but he can run between the tackles.
All right, kids, to FFG style, his comment, would you rather have Khalil Herbert or Damian Martinez?
I'm good with either one. I think.
I didn't ask you either one.
I know you didn't, but I'm giving you. I'm like, if tomorrow they announce either one of those guys, I'm happy. If they announce neither one of those guys, I'm pissed off.
Preference.
I'm going to probably actually say in this scenario, Damian Martinez, because of his youth. Again, he's a developmental case scenario that bodes well. And that little animosity that Nomad just lit up is likely not in place. So all of those things, he'd be coming in here with a fresh eyes, fresh mind, and fresh legs. And, in that respect, he's definitely a direct upgrade to Roshan Johnson. He can do everything he can do and do it a little bit better. Whereas Khalil, we kind of know what Khalil is. He's a little bit different. He's more in the mold of a backup to DeAndre Swift, like a true backup to DeAndre Swift. as
and
opposed
not
to
like
a
a Thunder.
north-south back.
He's not Thunder. Yeah,
He's not Knuckles.
yeah.
All right. I would say this, man, because we do got to get out of here. And the longer we go on, it's going to be more money for me to make shorts. That's a whole other question. I mean, that's a whole other something to think about, man. This was a good show, man, because we're finally at the initial 53. And the next few hours, man, and I say few hours, I mean like 72 hours or so, is going to be important for the Chicago Bears. And in my opinion, this might sound strange to you all. It's going to determine, to me, whether or not they have the right people in the front office or not. I think these moves that they can make in this waiver wire period or trading, there could be some trading shit going on that we don't know about. There's some opportunities out here. There could be some stuff going on with Jalen Johnson, and we don't know. All I'm going to say is I'm not going to speculate too much, but you got trade opportunities that need phone calls made about those. You got waiver wire opportunities that need phone call made about those. There's so many different things. So you have players that are outright release that are out there that can have those conversations with any GM and agent in the world. They can have those conversations. Then you have those waiver wire players that have to wait until I think this time tomorrow. Well, 3:00 tomorrow, our time. They have to wait until that period ends. And then after 3:00, then they can pick up some of those phone calls and respond to some of these teams as, hey, I'm going to offer you this, and this is what we want you to come here and do. We want you to be a practice squad player. Or we want you to come here and initially be on the 53, but we're going to revert you to the practice squad once the season starts after we do a game. Stuff like that. These are the conversations that need to be had by agents, GMs, assistant GMs. They're on the phone right now trying to go through what they want. Now, who they get, I'm not so sure that this organization knows how to draft running backs. I'm not so sure. I know a lot of people are still on the sugar high with Kyle Manung guy. I think he can be decent, but I don't think he's going to be a world beater. I'm just telling you. I think about freaking Treston Ebner. Where's he at? We haven't really drafted too many running backs. I gotta get ready to close this out, kids. I know you got a lot to say. I just wanted to put that out there as something to think about while we go through the next 48 to 72 hours. I don't know that these guys know what they're doing as far as that goes, man. Maybe with Eric Bieniemy in the building, we get a little bit better with that. I don't know, but fucking something's off when it comes to that to me. Something's off. But that's my take on it. We'll be here tomorrow night, 8 p.m. Central, with the chef. Me, the chef, and kids, we're going to do our thing, man, like we always do on some extra sauce, man. And thank you guys for being here for this special edition of Nomad at Night, the initial 52-man roster, 53-man roster. My bad. But let's give it around. Let's just pass it around, man, for some pleasantries before we get out of here.
Man, we'll keep it short and sweet. I do want to give a big shout out to all of my folks at Keds the Canuck right here on YouTube. We are now officially over 100 subs, which is awesome in the short period of time that I've been doing this stuff. Thank you guys. We're about to light things up one more time for Superflex, so keep your eyes and ears peeled. And yeah, man, that's all I got today, man. Big ups to all the No Maniacs and the Super No Maniacs. Big up to y'all for joining and gifting memberships today. That was really awesome to see. Shout out to Ron Winarski for doing that. Big ups to Paul for getting on as well. Shout out to Dante Purify. Big ups to all you guys, as well as Jim Hunter and Dan Brown for getting on and becoming members too. But we'll keep it light and short and sweet and move right into extra sauce tomorrow. Trips, what do you got to say?
A shout out to all of these motherfuckers in the chat on a Tuesday night.
On a Tuesday.
For 3.5 hours talking about this roster and possibilities. So big up to all y'all. Shout out to Kids Canuck, Sports Chicago Style. Shout out to Coach Tripping, Chef Trips, who will be in tomorrow night with the segment on Extra Sauce in my friend the kitchen. And a shout out to Trip with his adorable ass. And everybody, oh, look at the adorable ass speaking. Oh, look at the baby kids. Get those baby kids Herberts and eat those piggies. Get those piggies too. Yeah, get those piggies. and big up to everybody who's shown love and commented and subscribed and liked to Sports Chicago Style. The crew, we all thank you. And looking forward to just keeping the content flowing. No, Matt?
Amen to that. And thank both of you guys for being here, man. And thank Sports Chicago Style. Thank Kaz the Canucks channel. Go, please subscribe to the channels. And I don't like to bark out instructions and be trying to tell people what to do. But the truth is, and it should be said, the support that you give us here on the Nomad Network, I don't understand why everybody doesn't give it the same way over there. Same people, just on a different channel, growing their channels. I respect the shit out of you, Nomaniacs. I respect the shit out of the Super Nomaniacs. Everybody that supports what we do, I think highly of you. I love you all because there's not very many channels that can go live at any given time of the day or night and have a bunch of people there to support them, listen to the content, and interact with them. We got that going on over here in spades. And I just like to see the same energy over there on both of these guys' channel, man, because they work their asses off. I know Trips does. Kazagurian start working his ass off a little bit more, but he's doing a whole lot. He ain't gonna work his ass off.
Well, no, it's just the look that he had on his face. Like, what you mean I ain't working my ass off?
He ain't done as much as you have, man.
That's true.
Oh man, I only have one personality, so I'm good. I come up with a couple more before I can reach where Triple R's at. Trust me.
All right, man. Hey, but Trip should be. I take my hat off to the amount of work that he puts in over there, man. I think that's special, man, because what people don't get about Trips, and they will soon find out about Trips, is his talent level. His personality is transformative in a way because you don't really see somebody that can step into so many different roles and give you those skits in those formats, man. You know, that's not easy. Like, I'm not doing that shit. You know what I'm saying? But he's brave enough to put those kinds of acting roles into all of those segments, man. And it takes time to edit that stuff and get it to look the way he wants it to look. I think that shit's respectable as fuck, man. And so I take my hat off to him. That's all the more reason to go over there and subscribe to the channel. Kez, what he's doing and what he's trying to build up and where he's going with his channel, I know exactly where he's trying to head, I think. But I think in given time, I think people will be completely pleased with what Kez brings to the table, whatever direction he goes, whether he stays in Bears content or he branches out and starts doing other things. He named his channel Kez the Canuck for a reason. I don't know that you want to be completely isolated in Bears content. I want to open up some other channel and see where we go from there. But I appreciate you guys, man. And whatever you guys want to do, just know this channel is here to support you all. Just know that.
Much appreciated.
So,
and Crimson, I have gone live once, and maybe I'll do it tomorrow just to mess with it. But there technical issues between YouTube and StreamYard that we're still working on to go live on Extra Sauce and Nomad at Night and such. But yeah, it's a thing that I'm going to be doing more of, and not less of the produced content, but more of, let's say, live content as well.
Yeah, we working on that. I'm trying to help Triple R out on it.
Yeah, it's Sports Chicago Style. It's a thing, but don't worry about it. Don't worry, you pretty little heads about it. Go ahead, Nomad.
Yeah, man. Y'all keep on flowering each other, man. Keep doing it. Whatever y'all already know. Whatever I can do, I'll do. But yeah, man, that's it for tonight. We'll be back here tomorrow, 8 p.m. Central, and it's gonna be a damn good show because I'm pretty sure there's going to be several moves, and maybe not by the Bears, but there'll be moves around the league that are going to be tantalizing to the Bears. And who knows? Maybe some trades are in that conversation, or maybe a trade is in that conversation. Maybe a few moves for waiver wire guys, but I am very interested to see how they move in this period, because they can get a lot better than we are right now, or they can totally fuck this up. One of the two is going to happen. And I can't wait to see. And I'm not very judgmental, but if they don't get this running back room together like I know it needs to be, we're going to struggle out here. I don't give a shit how good this team looks. That's just my take on it. Thank you all for being here. It was fun. Please grab a membership. It's only 99 cents. Leave this show tonight. Go to the YouTube channel where you see the Nomad Network icon. Whether you're on the phone or on a computer, go find the logo, and that will take you to where it says membership, and the membership will take you wherever else you need to go to get signed up. It's only 99 cents. I made it that way so that everybody can afford, everybody that supports us can afford a membership and help this channel. Not only that, you can also get yourself some discounts on this new merchandise that's coming out. And so that's coming out in several days. It's going to be a few days before we tell you all go grab this stuff. And I'd rather you have a discount being supporters of this channel and all three of what we do. I'd rather you have that discount. That's just our way of saying thank you. Grab the membership, please. Leave the show and go grab the membership. I would like to see 50 to 70 people grab a membership before we do our next show tomorrow. That's what I'm praying for. Grab a membership, please. It helps us, and it's going to help you when you going to get that merchandise. But that's it for tonight. And I thank you guys again for being here. And I'm going to leave you with these famous words. If you can think it and you can see it, there is no reason in the world why you cannot absolutely manifest it. Do not, and I repeat, do not be a prisoner of your own mind. But with that being said, we are